Good evening, everybody. It is I, RavenEAP, with my partner in crime, Spawn of Voorhees, doing
Hello.
something that has caused us a quite amount of pain this week, and trying to figure out what our favorite horror movies are. Maybe not what the best horror movies are, but for us, horror movies that if we were on a desert island or we could only watch 20 horror movies for the rest of our life, which would it be? And I know for me it was painful. Spawn, you got anything to add to that?
Painful like the word, man. It's honestly give me migraine. Like, I took this question seriously, and to be honest, it was Raven who helped me get this list together even more, because for me, in my head, it was just the top 20 favourite horror films of all time for me. But then when you says 20 horror films I couldn't live without, I, I've lived that since till doing this, and it was sort of like in my head, it was like if somebody come to me and said, "Look, we're taking horror films away. No more's being made. You can only pick 20 to watch for the rest of your life. What would they be?" This I can tell you now. These will never change. These are definite 20 for me. So it's been. I've had migraine, man. Honest to God, I haven't lying.
I don't think I'll go as far as saying mine won't ever change because there could always be a movie that comes out that maybe knocks it off. But I agree that these are probably the most steadfast ones. These are the ones that I'm like, hey, I love quite a bit, love to death, I should say.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess how do you want to do this? Like, do you want to go? We'll obviously start at 20 and work our way up to our number ones. But
Yeah, I think that'd be the best way to go.
do you want to do it in a way? Because obviously I'm going to let you go first, as always.
Yeah,
Do you want to do 20? Then I do. Then I do my 20, and then I do.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then either you do your 19, and then just keep going back and forth like that.
Yeah, we can do it that way if you want. It makes it a lot simpler as well, though.
Okay. All right. I am in for that. So, without further ado, and I just want to clarify for the pending video and all you little sons of bitches in YouTube who like to be little shitty comments. This is our favorite movies. This isn't what we think is the best. We'll have one of those conversations later.
Yeah,
But this is our favorite movies. So with that,
yeah.
I will let Spawn here go first with his number 20.
Right. Well, number 20 for me, and it's got to be here because I wouldn't be able to live without watching this film. Um, so I've had to put it at number 20. I do like the other films above it, but I've had to have it because I know I couldn't live without it. Surprise, surprise! It's the new Blood Friday the 13th. I could not live without this film. I can't. Kane Hodder's performance for me is amazing. I've already spoke about this, but being as it's one of my top 20 of all time, it's mainly, I've got to be honest, it's mainly Kane Hodder's performance that does it for me, and how Jason looks. It's the best look Jason's ever had, in my opinion. And you've got John Cole is a great director. He's worked with Kane Hodder in the past as well, and of course you got Lara Park Lincoln who plays Tina. And then, I don't know if you know this, I'm sure you'll probably know this, Raven, but Lara Park, who played Tina, and Kevin, never actually really got on in real life. They only just had to get on in the film. In real life, they did not get on at all. They even speak. Once the camera stopped rolling, they did not speak, they did not get on at all.
Oh yeah, Kane Kane wanted to really stay in character, right? He kind of stayed away from the cast and kind of.
No, no, not Kane. Kevin Spertus, who played Nick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kevin as Nick. Kevin, yeah, they did not get on. Kevin and our part did not get on at all.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, Kane Hodder scared them because Kane Hodder's he's a method actor. Like they've said, like during action he screams and he headbutts the trees and stuff, and he's screaming. But I guess it makes for a better performance. And of course, I hate Dr. Cruz, man. Terry. Terry. I don't know if it's Terry Kaiser or Terry Kisser, but he's a good actor.
Yeah, Terry Kaiser. Yep.
Yeah, and I hate him in this film. My only problem, I wish we could get a full uncut version of this film, because I tell you what, I've seen a few cut scenes on YouTube of uncut kills, and if we got a proper release of that, this would go higher for me. But for me, I couldn't live without this film, man. I need it in my life, so I had to throw the New Blood in there. Mainly, I'll be honest with you, it's Kane Hodder's performance and Kane Hodder's look as Jason Voorhees, and just how he changes, just the heavy breathing. We've spoke about it. I can't live without it, man. I can't.
No, that's a fair movie. That's a good one to have with a 20 spot.
Yeah, I need it in my life. So.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's funny. You and I were talking about the lists obviously offline and on our various streams and whatnot, and how do I want to word this? How do I want to do this? I'm gonna touch. I'll circle back on that later. That thought later. I will say that Terry Kaiser, a great dude. The wife and I actually met him, and the dude is downright one of the funniest dudes ever. Like he was getting her picture, and he was like, oh yeah, come on. He's like, let's do it. And then he's like, hey, does this picture look good? And then like, no, I don't like that picture. And so he's like, well, I'm doing it again. And then dude was legit cool. Like he talked about how, to your point, how you hate Dr. Cruz in that movie. And we talked he took that as a compliment, because that's the whole point. You're supposed to hate him. So obviously with my tattoo and my my Jason obsession, that was really, really fun, really good time.
That's awesome, man. I'm yet to meet him. I've met Kane Hodder, one of the awesome dudes. I know you've met him as well. So, but yeah. I know I'm sure it's a shocker for people that I've got Friday the 13th in there, but
no.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, anything you want to add to your number 20?
No, I mean, it's just like in my room. Even there's so much new blood around here that it's just. I just thought, I've got to be honest with myself. I wouldn't be able to live without this film. I need it.
That's relatable content.
And to be honest with you, just before we get to your 20, which I'm very intrigued about, I will say it is mainly down to Kane Hodder's performance. His performance is fantastic as Jason.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best.
The look of him is just badass, man. So that's. And plus, it's got one of the best kills, the sleeping bag kill, which I spoke to Kane Hodder about. I love that kill. It's a monster kill, man. So, yeah.
It's a good one.
It's still an underrated movie in the franchise, in my opinion.
I think so. I think it's criminally underrated, but that's just me. I mean, it's also the most marketable as well because of the look.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Hey, let's not do that. Sorry, dog. All right. Well, anything else you want to add to it?
No. I'm intrigued to hear your list as well, dude.
All right. Well, my number 20 is a film from 1981. You might think what you know, but it's not. It's actually the movie The Prowler, who it might be known to you as over there as Rosemary's Killer. Because I know in the UK it had a different name, but for me, The Prowler, directed by Joseph Zito, who also directed the Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, is at number 4 for me, and it's how do I go about? It's one of the first films that, to me, it got me to it bothered me. Because it's so violent. For a movie that was made in 1981, the violence in that movie, like the deaths, the blade in the head, the cutthroats, the everything about it is just very, very brutal, and you didn't see that a whole lot in the early 80s horror movies. And unless it was like fast cut or like an edit or like it was blurred out a little bit, you never really saw it. And this one delivered on all of that. Even even the guy's eyes turning white as he's like getting, with a blade in his head. It was great. Probably because it was done by the makeup guru Tom Savini, who also was part of Friday the 13th and From Dusk Till Dawn and countless other horror movies, Dawn of the Dead. The guy is a legend in the industry, and rightfully so because he does great makeup just like this. So um, it's not known to a lot of people, and that's kind of unfortunate because it is it is a great horror movie. I mean, the premise is there's a World War II. The World War II is going on. The vets are starting to come home. One of the ladies, Rosemary, decides to break up with her boyfriend or husband or whatever via letter as he's overseas. He comes back, kills her new boyfriend. Fast forward 35 years later, they decide to do another dance for all the vets, and as you probably guessed, what happens? The killer comes back and starts killing again. And yeah, this is a great movie, and I think anybody who hasn't seen it should see it. It's great. I don't really think I have much more to add to that, other than if you like horror, violence, and great effect kills from the maestro Tom Savini, go see it. Go see it. It's on Amazon Prime.
I've seen it. It's a good film, man.
Yeah,
It's a very good film.
Is it called The Prowler over there?
Yeah, it's actually called The Prowler, yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was doing because when we're doing this list, I was doing all the research. A lot of the films have I feel like different names over in the UK, or at least aptly named. Like it might be more known now as their regular name, but
Yeah.
I believe it's called Rosemary's Killer over there for a little bit.
It was, and I still actually believe over here you can buy it as that, or you can buy it as The Prowler as well. So,
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I do remember seeing it, and like I say, I've watched. I think I've seen the film about twice in my lifetime, and it is a fun watch, man. It's brutal.
Yeah, that's what I love about it is the brutality. I mean, it's your standard slasher film. I mean, something happens, years pass, killer comes back after they decide to start something up again. It's very Friday the 13th ish. I mean, it's not a supernatural being; it's just some army vet. But it's still just it is vicious, and while it does get lost in the slashers of the decade with your Friday the 13th and your Halloweens and your Nightmare on Elm Streets, the Prowler is still worth a watch, and any slasher fan will love it, and I highly recommend. And that's all I got for that. So I will let you move on to your number 19 now.
Right. Okay. Right. I don't know if many people have heard of this. Maybe you have, Raven. Number 19 for me is. It's kind of low budget. It's not completely low budget, but it's a film called Strangeland.
Oh yeah.
Now, I fell in love with this film the first time I watched it. My mate brought it round for me years back. I can't remember how old I was. Might have been in my early teens, and he brought Strangeland, and he said it's the dude from Twisted Sister.
Yep, Dee Snider. Yep.
Yeah, Dee Snider. So, and it's directed by John Pieplo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Robert Englund's in it as well, and there's a great scene between Dee Snider, who's Captain Odie, by the way, and if I remember right, Robert Englund's, the bloke's name's Jackson Roth, and I can't remember his girlfriend's name in the film. I can't remember if it's his wife or girlfriend there, but either way, Dee Snider, Captain Odie, is trying to get better from killing because he's a sadistic person. He's putting people in cages and he's doing horrible things to people. Like he tortures this bloke and does unimaginable things to this bloke down there by sticking stuff through and putting, and I go into it, you know what I'm talking about, but it's brutal. But I love this film. I love the brutality of this film. It's very metal meets goth meets just a crazed killer, which in my opinion Captain Odie is absolutely fantastic in this film, who was played by Dee Snider. but to this scene, and it cracks me up every time. Robert Englund's sitting there, and he tells his girlfriend to come in, but he doesn't know that Captain Odie's actually killed his girlfriend. Spoilers, by the way, I should have said that a bit earlier, but anyway. It's a good film. And he comes in and she's dancing, but what's funny is she's doing this funny dance, but it's actually him, Captain Odie, using her as a puppet. And if you've probably seen it, Raven, and he's doing that funny dance, he's like, "Oh, get over here," and then he gets Robert Englund and does horrible stuff to him, and he throws his mouth up and his eyes. And the film starts off with Dee Snider again, Captain Odie, and how he gets his victims is on the internet, and he's sort of targeting like alternative women, and he gets them to talk to him, and he soothes them in that much they actually end up to his house, and then he like drugs them, puts them in a cage, and does unimaginable things to them, like tortures them like really bad, and he's obsessed with pain as well. And he actually tries to give it up, but through Robert Englund, he hangs him, but him and his crew hang him and give him a kicking, but it doesn't kill him. Then obviously he's off the pills again, so he goes mental, which is why then he goes after Robert Englund and his crew. And this is just a fantastic film, man, and I love the brutality of it. For it being quite low budget, it's a great horror film, and I just love the whole... It's like a mixture of goth metal and like just this crazed dude, and of course it's Dee Snider. You can't go wrong with Dee Snider.
True.
And I'll tell you what, man, Captain Odie, man, is one of my favourite horror characters of all time, and I love this film, which is why it's at number 19 for me, Strangeland. Give it a watch, man. It's so good.
Well, I'm glad you brought... This is why I'm kind of glad we're doing this, because you and I know Strangeland, like, and the wife knows Strangeland. Like, I love that movie. I think it is essentially Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill, but with the internet. And I think that it is a great movie. I am glad to see that it's on your list. It's not on mine, but I am glad to see that it's on your list, because that movie is really, really good. And I'm so happy to be doing this right now, because yeah, most people don't even know what the fuck Strangeland is, and this is good. I like it.
Yeah, it's so good. And I just want to say something to people as well. You see me tilting my head just because I'm watching Raven on my laptop and my camera's here. That's why I'm like looking back and looking at the camera and stuff. So just to let people know.
Yeah, I guess I probably should do that too. Like I have chat and everything right here, but Discord's right here. So if you see me looking down here, I'm actually looking at Spawn, even though I should be looking up here. Working on it, still trying to get everything fleshed out. But we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
At least people know what we're doing.
yeah. I don't have Strangeland on my list, but the wife and I have also got to meet Dee Snider as well for both Strangeland. But she got a Strangeland poster signed, and then we met him for the Holliston, that show he did with Adam Green, and what's his name from Gwar?
Oh, I know you're on about. I forgot his name though.
Yeah, shit. So did I. But yeah, dude is dope. Dude is so cool.
Yeah. Awesome film, man.
Yeah. I'm glad it's on your list, dude. That makes me happy. Well, anything you want to add to that?
No, it's just you'd be surprised, Raven, how many times I watch this film in a year. It's a lot, man. It's just look, if you like heavy metal music and you love horror films, it's a film for you. If you're into that sort of stuff, it's amazing, man. It's brilliant. Can't praise it enough. Which is why it's at number 19. I mean, it says how much it is good for me that I'd need it in my life if I couldn't watch horror films again. It's that good. So if you haven't seen it, peeps, give it a watch.
I concur with his pick there. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. 1,000%. All right. Okay. Nope, that's good. Speaking of low budget, my number 19 pick is also a low budget film. It is from 2003, and it is a movie called Dead End. And it is for those that don't know, for the past 20 years or so, Frank and his family go celebrate Christmas with his in-laws. The year the movie comes out, he decides to take a shortcut. It turns out to be one of the biggest mistakes of his life. And then on the road, kind of as they're traveling, shit just goes sideways. There's a mysterious woman in white kind of wandering through the forest who leaves pretty much just death and carnage in her wake. A terrifying black car, which you can assume is a certain character or something. You know, like I could say, I'll say it because it's fucking past 20 years. You assume it's death that carries its victims out at the at night after they've met their end. Every sign that they pass kind of points to a destination that they never get to, and it is for me a fun film because it's a fun film just because for the fact that everybody decides to take a shortcut every now and then, and what happens when you take a shortcut and it fucking backfires? Well, this is obviously the extreme version of that, but it is fun. It doesn't really show kills. It doesn't really show even the aftermath of kills. It has a little bit of gore, but it's not what you would typically say is a gory movie. It's just it's more of what's the word I'm trying to look for? More suspenseful and let your imagination kind of go with it, which for me is horror movies that I love. I love where I can use my imagination. The movie also has Ray Wise. It's psychological. Thank you very much. The movie also has Ray Wise and the very much underappreciated Lin Shaye, who, if you know her from Insidious and what's that movie with Robert Englund, where they're the ghost Confederate soldiers. Shit, I can't now. I'm drawing a blank.
I know what you mean, man.
Yeah, that's another fun movie, by the way. But the reason, the reason it's on the list is because it's a simple concept. It's the idea of taking a shortcut during a family vacation, and then something goes wrong. You add the mysterious element to the Lady White, which is another great movie, by the way, not on my list, but it takes a mysterious version of Lady in White and just drives that point home. And I loved it. I don't know if you've seen it yet. I know I told you to see it. I don't know if you saw it yet or not.
I think I did watch it. And maybe I need to watch it again.
It's definitely not. It's not, because I know you like the gore and you like seeing everything, and it is definitely not that. Like I know for a fact it's not that, but it's funny because when I was watching this movie the other day to kind of get a refresh of it, I immediately thought of you because in the opening scene, Ray Wise, the dad, starts talking about Marilyn Manson, and then Marilyn Manson has a song called "Wrapped in Plastic," which was inspired by Twin Peaks, which is what Ray Wise is from. And I was like, hey, well, that kind of circles back. And then I started thinking about you because obviously you're a Manson guy, just like I am.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah?
I've seen it. I remember now, yeah, I remember the Marilyn Manson, yeah. Yeah, I have, I've watched it, but I will watch it again to refresh my memory, because I watched it when you told me to watch it, but I've watched that many films since, it sort of got lost, if that makes sense, in my head, so I'll definitely give it a rewatch, but yeah, of course I remember the Marilyn Manson part.
Yeah, he's like, that Marilyn Bronson fella, and he's like, well, no, it's and no, it's Marilyn Manson, and he's like, oh, I didn't know it was a girl, he's like, no, it's a guy, and back and forth.
Yeah, and he goes in the film, Darry, he goes, I've left me Marilyn Manson CDs, and he goes, what's the will coming to, or something, don't we?
I think so, yeah, yep.
Yeah, I say I've watched it, yeah, I remember, yeah.
That is my number 19 pick. I would recommend it. It's currently available on Amazon Prime as well. Fun little fact about this movie, the movie did dog shit, as far as cinematic release, it didn't do anything. But but it's gained such a cult following that on DVD sales and Blu-ray sales, it has made $77 million. It is for a movie that was made in 2003. Now, granted, it kind of it hasn't really blown up until the past couple of years, but that's phenomenal, and I'm so happy for everybody involved in that because it's a great movie.
I agree. I do agree. Right.
All right, that's my number 19. So let's go to 18 for you.
Right, again, this is not a budget per se, but it's not like a massive budget either. I'm sure, again, I think I've mentioned this before. I'm sure you've watched it, Raven. But a film I'm talking about here at number 18 is actually It's brilliant. I love how creative it is. Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Oh yeah.
This film is just bonkers, man. And again, we've got Robert Englund in it,
Mm-hmm.
who plays Doc Halloran. I don't know if I'm butchering the name there.
Nope, that's right.
I don't know if you know this, Raven. Kay Nodder's actually in the film.
Yep.
The guy at the Elm Street house.
Yep.
Of course.
Here's a little bit of a spoiler for you. This movie is also on my list.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not.
Oh.
Obviously, I'm gonna say I ranked it higher than you, but yeah. This movie's on my list.
It's so good. I mean, you got Nathan Bassell who plays Leslie Vernon, and this film, man. Again, it kind of reminds me of Scream to a degree, that somebody's took their love of horror films just too far, and just how crazy it sort of takes you into the mind of. To me, this is how real serial killers must think, because they plan it out so much. And like the girl at the, I can't remember the girl's name, but at the start when Hideo Killabre's just playing with her, and he says, "Right, we're going to do this. We're going to put the mask on," and then it's building everything up, and they're ticking this, and there's like, oh my god," because I think they think at first that he's not going to kill her, but as it goes on and on, they get more scared, obviously, and then Robert Englund comes in. Like I say, you got Kay Nodder in it, but it's only a brief little time that you see Kay Nodder. You've got Scott Wilson in as well, who plays Eugene. And what I love about this, and especially I love, spoiler alert for people here, but even if you hear the spoiler, still watch this film. It's brilliant. I love the ending, Raven. You know where it's like the Virgin always dies. And then she realises, oh wait a minute, I'm the Virgin here, like, and then it's her that takes him out.
Yep.
And then at the end of the film, though, it's like he sort of becomes supernatural because you sort of see him come back, but then we never got a sequel, and I don't know why.
Yeah, there's some reasons for that, and I don't want to. I'll save my talking points for the movie for that as well when I get to that. But yes, I agree with you on this list. Like, this is a phenomenal movie. Fantastic film.
Yeah, I love it.
Not a lot of people know it too, which is crazy.
Yeah, I first watched this film, and again, it was actually from my mate Adam. He brought it one day and said, "Shall we watch this?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not? I'll see what it's like." I instantly fell in love with that film. I was like, "My God, that is one of the best horror films I've seen in a long while." It's so different, and you get my point, Raven. It's sort of like Scream. Somebody's took their love of horror films way too far.
Oh yeah.
And I just love it. And the scene in the library, that scene is brilliant. How he just sneaks up on him and he's got the mask on. Oh, I love this film. And some of the kills are brutal as well. And I like how he got them all into the house and he sort of read what they was going to do and how he takes them out one by one. And I love that girl's face when she goes, and she realises it's shit, I'm the Virgin, it's me I'm the main girl here. I love that little scenario with her. And yeah, Rise of Leslie Vernon, peeps, give it a watch, man. It's fantastic.
Agreed. It's an amazing film. We did the same thing with that movie on Netflix. Yeah. We saw it on Netflix. I actually saw it. We saw it on Netflix, and that's when we actually watched it. The first time I actually knew about that movie, though, kind of dating myself a little bit here, probably, but I was going through Hollywood Video, the video store, like Blockbuster, and kind of walking through the horror section. I saw the movie, and I was like, "Oh, that looks kind of interesting. I wonder what that is." Like, as a horror movie, like I don't want to say guru because that seems like braggadocious, but like as a guy who loves horror movies, like I'd never heard that before. I was like, maybe I'll check that out one day. I wasn't there for it then, but then kind of forgot about it. And then the wife and I saw it on Netflix one day, and we watched it, and it was it's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah. I'm intrigued now to see what maybe we got other films on the list. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, actually, I know we do. I know we do. You've already said two of mine, so I've ranked them high, but I've ranked them higher. So
I'm trying to think now.
Obviously, Leslie Vernon was one. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. I think I can guess the other one. Then.
yeah, you probably can.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you good? Anything you want to add?
Nah, but I'm pretty good with it. It's just like I say again, peeps. You're gonna hear Raven talk about it again, but if you're hating it, give it a watch. It'll be one of the best horror films you ever see. It's so different, and
Yeah.
I love how unique it is.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it because I got my talking points too. But I'm with you. Like it is phenomenal, phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for me at number 18 was a movie that I actually just watched last night. Which it's not. I've watched it before, but I just kind of wanted to refresh myself. It is a 2019 movie called Ready or Not. It's starring Samara Weaving, who's in The Babysitter. It's about a girl who marries her boyfriend, and then at midnight they have a tradition, so to speak, where they have to play a game. She draws a card. Whatever the game is what they play. She draws hide and seek, and so she is required to essentially survive till dawn because the twist is that the family will kill her because she picked hide and seek. So the twist is that the family now has to set out to kill her to appease the pact they made with the devil long ago. And we should be back now. Give it a second. Catch up here. Catch up here.
Okay, mate.
All right, there. All right, we're back. Um, God damn it, pisses me off. But yes, Ready or Not is a great movie. More, more so, not because I mean the story is great. Like I like the idea like of this family tradition. Like this family sold their soul to the devil so they can amass their fortune. Um, and they did it through like this gaming box. Like in the 1800s, like their great great grandpa or whatever beat this box that was made from like the devil essentially, and uh, so he was like, "Hey, I'll grant you all whatever you want, like your one desire, or whatever like that." But there's a caveat. Caveat is, if they draw this card, you need to make this sacrifice, and the movie then proceeds to be all about that. Uh, that is really good. Like it's got Samara Weaving in it, who essentially I don't like this title for her, but they call her like the poor man's Margot Robbie, but she's fantastic. Like she's in The Babysitter, she's in Guns Akimbo, she was in Bill and Ted Face the Music. It's got Adam Brody, who was in the OC. He's in Scream 4. He was the cop in Scream 4 with Anthony Anderson. Uh, he was the one that like they're both in the car and they're all like, "Hey, you know what happens if I say come right back?" And then like they both die, obviously. But yeah, this is it is a fun movie with an ending that they full sent it on. Like I wasn't expecting the ending to happen the way it did, and then when it did, it made me smile because it was like, hey, they took the premise of the movie and then they just fucking ran with it and they didn't stop. Um, and for you think for a horror movie where it's essentially they only have to kill her. There are quite a few deaths in this movie, which is great. So some of them are violent, some of them catch you off guard, but it is a great film. And one of the things I like about it is like Samara Weaving. She plays. There's two things I like about it. One, Samara Weaving. I think she's criminally underrated. I think given the scripts like Ready or Not and The Babysitter, which I also love, I think she could be well on her way to be one of the next Scream Queens. I think she is amazing. Uh, Secondly, is the overall like tone of it, like the you think it's like Packs of the Devil stuff when it is. It's like a pack. It is a pack with the devil, but they just full kind of like send it with the. And if you haven't seen it, I would suggest you seen it because it does have a ton of like LaVey references, like more LaVeyan, like like the philosophy more so than like just actually him. Uh, but it's fun. If you haven't seen it, it's a good time. Great movie. Highly recommend.
I'm not sure if I've seen it right. In the film Raven, there's a lot of things happen by trees.
By trees?
Yeah,
No,
or not?
no.
But, no, I'm thinking of a different film. I actually haven't seen that film then.
Yeah, no. This movie for them up until up until the end is pretty much grounded in reality.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll have to watch it then. I don't think I've seen it, mate. I don't think I've seen it.
yeah. It is. It is. It's currently available on Amazon Prime to rent for $3.99. I highly recommend it. Not just because Samara Weaving's great. You'll like it. I just because of the Leviathan, like the LeVay aspect. But it's fun. It's fun.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
That's my number 18. So now we are on to 17. It's the 2019 film, by the way. So make sure you got that right too. I don't know if there's any other ones, but 2019.
Okay, right. We're on to number 17 now. For
Yes,
me,
sir.
this is my second favourite of all time vampire film.
Ooh, before you say it,
And
let me guess. I want to guess.
go on.
I want to say Near Dark.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
As one of my all-time favourite actors in it, Chloe Grace Moretz. I absolutely adore her.
Oh, I know where we're going with this. Okay. All right.
And my number 17 is actually Let Me In.
Yep.
I love this film. I have watched it over and over and over again. This is a vampire film that I adore. Like I say, it's very. It's my second favourite vampire film. Spoiler, we'll get into that later, obviously. But yeah, Chloe Grace Moretz in this is fantastic. She plays Abby. You've got Owen, played by Cody Smith-McPhee. By the way, the director's Matt Reeves.
He also
And the
directed Cloverfield,
storyline,
didn't he also direct Cloverfield, or isn't he like?
I swear it was Cloverfield. That's also a great film, by the way.
Yeah, I
That
think
film's
so. Sorry, I didn't mean to
amazing.
sidetrack you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's okay, mate. It's no problem. And you've also got Richard Jenkins, who plays the father to Abby, played by again Chloe Grace Moretz. And I just love it. This film's so different to any other vampire film. It's like the vampire is sticking up for the kid that's beaten down. Even as a young kid, like even as a young kid, it's almost like he's at a wit's end and he's questioning life already at a young age because he's beat up every day. You can see he's down in life, and Abby trying to pick him up, and then something happens where he starts getting like creeped out by her. I mean, she's a vampire, you're gonna, but he don't realise that until later on. And let me say, man, the gore in this film is brilliant. At the end, when she sticks up for him and takes them all out, I'll tell you what, I'm sure you've seen it, Raven. Do you remember where she literally rips the head off?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
And where she's feeding and she's literally biting the head off, man. This film is so gory and brilliant. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Like I say, it's fantastic. I love Let Me In. And the scene that it's the connection between the vampire and the human. It's something that I've not seen in any other horror film. Like, it's the vampire sticking up for the human, because like I say, it's quite a touching vampire film. And even me describing it, I don't feel like I'm describing it the way I should, because it don't even give a right description of how good this film is. But just watch it; it's brilliant, and like the gore is there, like the connection again. I just love the connection. Like And the dad also says to Abby about he wants her to stay away from him, but she can't. It's almost like they sort of fall in love, and it's this weird connection they have that they can't stay away from each other. Like the hospital bed scene as well. That's brilliant, and at the end, and he sort of gets grossed out when he sees her like covered in blood. But at the end, he sort of accepts it because I think he sort of comes round to like, I'm sort of a freak myself. You love me, and I seem to love you, and then and the ending's just brilliant for me, and I love this film. And the ending scenes when she takes them all apart, you need to watch that, man. For people that I watched it, Let Me In's a fantastic film, and like I say, Blue there. I love Chloe Grace Moretz. I adore her. She's brilliant.
Yeah, as the wife said, she's great and kick ass. I love her. So
Yeah.
let me in. Have you watched the movie that inspired it, or essentially the original one?
I have, but I don't remember a lot about it. I, I do remember
Yeah,
I've watched it, but I do prefer this one.
yeah, it's pretty much the same premise. But I agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
this is one of the few times I think the remake or the Americanized version or whatever you want to call it actually delivers more than the original one. The original one was called Let the Right One In.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for those that didn't know either. But yeah, Let Me In is a fantastic movie. Man, I did not think that would be on your list.
It's my second favorite all time. It's Do you sort of get what I mean? It's not your typical vampire. It's quite emotional because, like I say, she's sticking up for the underdog. Even as a kid, you can see he's had enough because he's bullied all the while and he's got nothing going for him. And it's just how she like sticks up for him, and she's trying not to scare him. And when he sees her with the blood, her face, she's horrified herself, and she's a vampire because she's so scared of scaring him, and she's a vampire. It's just a great contrast. I love this film.
Yeah, it's like essentially like what happened if a vampire actually had a heart that wasn't Twilight. That would be like
Yeah, that's how you put it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean like because Twilight's awful, but uh,
Yeah. I only
great,
like number three. Oh, hate me.
great movie
Number
by the
three
way.
is okay. Yeah, it's
Great movie.
fantastic. I love it. Love it.
All right, anything you want to add to your number 17?
No, it's just if you ain't watched it, peeps, watch it. It's not your typical vampire film. It is so different to any other vampire film.
Agreed. I would definitely recommend going to see it. 100%.
Brilliant. I love it.
All right. Well then, my number 17 then is probably a little bit more of a known film, but it is a 1985 Lovecraftian film, a little film we like to call Reanimator, with Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton. It was directed by Stuart Gordon. For me, this is a I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's just because I'm a Lovecraft fan. That's why I like this movie. Even though Lovecraft himself says Reanimator stuff isn't wasn't great like his most favorite writings. I something about Jeffrey Combs portraying Herbert West, um, it does it for me. Like Jeffrey Combs has always kind of been just, even though this is like his first major motion picture, like it's always been just like this creepy, I don't know, like weirdo, I guess for lack of a better word. Like I wish I could say this is the first Jeffrey Combs movie that I saw, like the first one. I saw Jeffrey Combs in Frighteners first, and then it was his other stuff. Uh, but he's always kind of portrayed this weird, just creepy guy, and the concept of a shot or a formula that can bring you back to dead or reanimate you, so to speak. Uh, for people who are obviously scared of dying or want to live forever or at least as long as possible, this has always been the dream for everybody. And then kind of seeing the dream fulfilled, but with dire consequences, is fantastic. Barbara Crampton, who is an amazing scream queen as well. her scenes in this movie. There's one scene in particular that involves a severed head, and her uh, is I give her props because I don't know how you accept to take on a movie and then film a scene like that. Uh, it's I'm not going to get into details. Just watch the movie, but just to be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to full send this and just deliver just a fantastic performance is amazing to me. And a little fun fact about this movie, and it's not really fun, unfortunately. Um, the doctor who has the severed head, Doctor. His name is Doctor Carl Hill in the movie. I can't remember what his real name is. I think it's David Gale. It's not a fun fact. It's actually kind of sad, but because of that scene in the movie, he ended up getting divorced. His wife left him because of that movie, because of that scene. Uh, Maybe rightfully so. I don't know, but I don't
Didn't know that.
No, yeah, that's
No way.
yeah. His when she watched the screener with him, uh, she said something along the lines of "Oh, David, how could you?" and then stormed off, and she ended up getting divorced from him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, 1985, the standards are a little different. I understand, but eh, it is a weird scene. But have you seen Reanimator, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I'll say this: it nearly made it in my top 20. I
Okay.
do like this film a lot. I do like it a lot. It
Yeah.
nearly made it.
So obviously you know what scene I'm talking about. So that
Yeah, yeah,
was yeah.
I
That's
know.
a props to everybody just for being like, hey, I'm just signing on to do it because I don't know if I would have. But yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah.
uh
Great film.
yeah, great film, fantastic film, and that is why it's at my number 17.
Right. So I guess we're at number 16.
Yes, we are.
And
Give me 2 seconds, though. Give me like 2 seconds, all right?
no worries, mate.
Entertain chat for a second.
Okay. Got to entertain your chat, and I'll quite know how. I guess if you're into horror film, peeps, put your top 20 down in the comments, man. I would think we'd appreciate what you've got. Yeah, I'd like to know your top 20. What's your top 20 horror films? Some me and Raven have spoke about Halloween. We're going to do our top 50 of all time horror films. That's going to be somewhat coming Halloween, so that's something to look forward to. So I'm definitely interested in that. So yeah, just been telling them that Halloween we're going to do our top 50 horror films of all time.
Okay, well, I should I worded this wrong when I said you should probably entertain us. Sinfornia has said yes, entertain me. So, hey, Sinfornia, how you doing? I hope you're doing well, and I hope your ass is going to Horror Hound because they are getting some names for their upcoming show.
Hello, Symphonia. Hope you're okay.
All right, we are at 16, good sir. So, take it away.
All right, number 16 for me is a very well-known horror film. It's not underground. It's certainly a classic. It's one that I love. It shouldn't come as a surprise because it's got a lot of gore in it as well. But my number 16 is Hellraiser, the first one. Directed by Clive Barker, and you got Sean Chapman as Frank, who is a complete and utter prick.
Yep.
But he's fantastic. You've got Andrew Robinson who's as Larry, Claire Higgins as Julia, and then you've got, of course, I don't know if people know this. I'm sure Raven will know this, but you got Oliver Smith who played the Frank as the monster, and of course you got the Chatter Cenobite Nicholas Vince. You got the Butterball Cenobite, which is hilarious as L. Simon Bamford, which with that. Now, for me, Hellraiser had to go in there. It's a classic. I love this film. It's gory. It did have effect on me when I first ever watched it. I love the feel of this horror film. This definition for me is it's a gothic horror film. It definitely is. The Cenobites are scary as Pinhead. It's this. I like the dimension of the old pleasure and pain dimension, and it depends what you're looking for. And it's just you're going for the wrong people if you're opening that box. Don't let Pinhead choose it for you because you're going to get the apartment, which Frank knows about. And just that scene at the end where it's like Jesus wept and he just tears his face apart, man. This film is fantastic. I'm telling you, if you have not watched Hellraiser for whatever reason, just watch it. It to me, Hellraiser 1 is the best in the series, in my opinion. That's just my opinion with Hellraiser. Now, Clive Barker's amazing. Doug Bradley, I think it sort of shows that Hellraiser had been as good since Doug Bradley had played Pinhead. You know, and like I say, Sean Chapman, who plays Frank's amazing. I like the old dimension here, where he uses... You know, he's getting Julia to get people into the basement, and she's beating the crap out of them. Spoilers, by the way, I'm doing it again, just to let you... right, spoilers. But she's... Well, I'll tell you what, from now on, I won't say it all, I'll just give a little brief description without the spoilers. But basically, Frank and Larry... Frank was having an affair with Julia, and he's come back to life through escaping the Cenobites. And he escapes, and Julia's trying to make a deal with the Cenobites. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to try and stop giving spoilers away. I'll keep forgetting to do it. So I'll do that. Now, just watch it. And if you want to be shocked, even to this day, and I'm sure Raven will agree, the ending to that film is still effective today with the old Jesus wept. It is fantastic. Watch Hellraiser. It's brilliant. I love it. I love Pinhead. I love the Chatterer. I love all the Cenobites. And yeah, man, I like the old dimension between the pleasure and the pain aspect, and it depends what you're looking for. And Pinhead gives it your yeah, he gives it all right.
Yeah, it's very sadomasochist, very sadomasochist and like bondage-esque fantasy kind of film. I mean, there's definitely that pain pleasure aspect, and it definitely delivers that narrative quite well.
Yeah, it does. I love this film. I love Hellraiser. So again, if you watch it, what I'm going to try and do, peeps, now is I'll try and stay away from the spoiler aspect for people that are racing it. I can just give a brief description why I love the film, and just I guess do it that way. And I'll try and stay away from spoilers if I can.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think to be fair though, if it's more than like 10, 20 years old, we're probably all right. But
yeah,
I will. I'll add little spoiler warnings when I edit the video. I plan on this one being heavily edited with little flashes of hey, spoiler warning, and then like us going into each film.
Okay. Well, I'll do that fingers and a spoiler alert. I'll say spoiler alert. So yeah, but watch this. Like I say, and just how even today, Raven, like you watch this film, and the effects in this, like how Frank's coming back to life. It looks amazing today. It still looks amazing, and for me, watch it. And Julia, she's just a fantastic bitch, eh? Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, she's brilliant. She's definitely mega bitch, that's for sure.
She's brilliant, man. She's brilliant, and Frank's brilliant in this as well. He's an evil son of a bitch.
Yep.
And you know, you do feel sorry for Larry as well. So yeah, just watch this film, man. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Watch it.
Yeah, it's great.
So number 16 for me is Hellraiser.
And spoiler, when we talk about the Hellraiser franchise, I'm gonna know what your number one movie is in that one. Haha.
Yeah. There's gonna be a few of them now, you know.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a ton of those movies.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's a good pick. I highly recommend watching that as well. So far, I'm loving your movie list. I love it. I especially love the Strange Landing edition. And Let Me In. I wasn't expecting that at all, but I'm
I love it, mate. I love it. Honestly, I love that.
For me, my number 16 pick is kind of continuing uh, a trend that I picked up on when I was making this list. It's another horror comedy, but this one is from 1985. It was directed by Dan O'Bannon. It has Glue Gallagher in it, James Karen, Don Calfa. It has Tom Matthews in it. Trying to see if you get it yet. It has Linnea Quigley in it. Linnea Quigley plays a punk rocker named Trash. It has a character called Tar Man.
Oh,
No.
I'm gonna. It's gonna kill me when you say it. It's on the tip of my tongue, man.
It is my number 16 movie is The Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
With all of those characters I said. Hey Nick, thank you for the raid, man. Appreciate that. Scottish Geek. Noel, what's up? I hope you're all well. Just doing movies, talking movies with Spawn of Voorhees here.
Hello, Katie.
I should say.
And Nick.
Should say we're talking horror movies here, and we're putting our top 20. We are talking our favorite top 20. May not what be the best top 20 is, but what our personal favorite is. And for me, at number 16 is Return to the Living Dead. And to me, the film was a story about how a warehouse owner who has 2 employees and a mortician friend. Shit gets sideways when they accidentally open up a canister that's based off of the real sleepaway camp. No,
That was cool.
That didn't make the list. But it's essentially so the George Romero series, the Living Dead series, where you have Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead, and all his of Dead stuff, is branches one way from Night of the Living Dead. And they wanted to go another way with it. So this is where Return of the Living Dead comes. And Return of the Living Dead introduces the concept of zombies saying brains and all that other stuff. This is the very first one it's doing. Hey, Latangelo, how you doing? We're doing well. Like I said, we're just over here talking about horror movies. And this is really this really introduced the concept of zombies talking, zombies going brains, and kind of that famous narrative that zombies are known for. Also, it's just a really fun movie. This is one of the first movies where zombies run, once they've passed away. You see Tom Matthews run, smashing doors. It is a fun movie, and I highly recommend it. It's definitely different from the Dead series from George Romero, but it adds enough to its own to create its own series of its own and stands out. And fun fact, the zombie extras that you see were actually paid more to eat real calf brains in the films. And one of the reasons I pointed this fact out was because Dan O'Brien, being a leader, said, hey, I'm not going to have you guys do something that I wouldn't do. And he ended up eating the real calf brains himself in front of the extras, so they would do it. So that to me was very admirable. Let's see. No Name says I would pay a significant amount of money to see a shot-for-shot remake of Dawn of the Dead with modern special effects. I don't. Without giving anything away, since we're only 16, I don't want to comment on Dawn of the Dead yet. But I agree. Yes,
I do agree. It is a good. It's a good film, and I think this is going to be very unpopular here, especially with Raven. I'm not the biggest zombie fan films, but I do love that one. There's 2 or 3 zombie films that I really enjoy, but I do love that one. That's one of my favourites. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's great. Real quick, kind of want to
Just
pause the discussion real quick. Nick, man, I hope you are close to getting an affiliate. Uh, I hope you are super close, man. I know. Uh,
hopefully.
I know you're getting there. So I hope so soon, man. Do I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel will win an Oscar? Nick, everything I said about you getting an affiliate, I take back. I didn't mean it. I don't. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Agree.
I take it all back. Take it all back. I revert. I revert what I was saying. All right, that's me for number 16. So we're now at number 15, and I'm gonna let Spawn take the point here.
Right. We've already spoke about my second favourite vampire film, which was Let Me In. We're now on to my first vampire film. Now I know Raven likes to do a thing of guessing, so which one do you think's my number one?
I want to say Near Dark.
No.
But that's what I want to say. But I'm gonna have to go Lost Boys.
Lost Boys don't even come close for me.
Damn,
Really.
down bad, y'all. Down bad, chat. Then I don't. John Carpenter's Vampires.
No. Nope.
Fuck. Not Near Dark. I guess haven't technically guessed Near Dark. So Near Dark.
Nope.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that interview. Interview with the Vampire.
Nope.
Fuck, I got nothing, dude. I got nothing.
My all-time favourite vampire film is 30 Days of Night.
No shit. I did definitely want to pick that.
That's
I
my
definitely
all-time
would have
favourite.
picked
It's
that.
always been my favourite. Over Lost Boys, over any other vampire film. I love 30 Days of Night. It's directed by David Slade. You've got John Arbor, who plays Eben Ollison. Be butchering the name. You've got Melissa George as Stella Olsen. Danny Huston as Marlowe, who's the main vampire, who's a complete beast in it. You've got Mark Boone, also from Sons of Anarchy, and then you got Megan Franich. Again, I think I'm probably butchering her name, and she's the lead vampire's girlfriend. The scenes in this are brutal. I love how it's set in snow.
I'm sorry. Katie just played a sound alert and scared the shit out of me. Even though it was applause, it still scared the shit out of me.
This guy's yeah.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all right, mate. It's all right. Yeah, I love how this film's set, and you know, John Herbert off again. I think I'm butchering the name. He plays Eben. I'll just call him Eben. I can't say his last name right as the character. Eben. He has the big fight with the vampire at the end. Spoilers coming up, by the way, peeps. Just letting you know. But the fight is brilliant at the end, and it's to me, these vampires are just brutal, and again, it goes into everybody knows I love my blood and I love my gore in horror films, and this offers it just non-stop. And this vampire film is just non-stop action. It's full of blood, it's full of gore. The ending with a fight where he sort of turns into a vampire. Eben does. I don't know if you've seen this film, Raven, but
This is actually,
remember,
I have not seen this movie.
you're not seeing it. Oh,
Nope.
it's. I ain't gonna say too much. Just watch this film. It's set in. It's got for me with vampire films. It always looks great when it's snowing and it's full of snow here, and they have to be really quiet because these vampires can hear from everywhere, and it's fantastic. I love this film. So I ain't gonna say too much. People watch it. Raven, watch it. You ain't seen it. I ain't gonna spoil it for you. But go and watch 30 Days a Night, man. Like I say, for me, everybody is Lost Boys. And I get Lost Boys, it's brilliant, but Lost Boys don't even come close to me with 30 Days a Night.
Well, according to Nick, Lost Boys bores the shit out of him, which is fair. Which is no, actually, was it Nick or Noel? No, it was no name. Who said man. Sorry, guys. OBS has now crashed on me twice. I've updated it. I have taken out everything and reinstalled everything. I don't know why OBS keeps crashing on me, and it always seems to do it when Spawn and I do this. I don't understand. Has to speak to the manager. Oh, so I haven't seen 30 Days a Night, so I can't really speak on it. But that's the one that's got to Josh Hartnett, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look because you made me want to watch it again.
The vampires in this are evil, man. They are pure evil, and it's a gore fest. And it's non-stop action as well, from near enough the start to the end. It's so good, man. I love it.
I'll have to take a look at it because I'm not huge on Josh Hartnett. I love him in Lucky Number 11. I think that is if we're talking about greatest movies of all time, that movie's in my conversation. So I should watch it. Like it was just one of those ones I never got around to seeing, and I probably should have. Especially since everybody apparently knew this was your favorite vampire movie. Well, not everybody, but Katie did, and
I've spoke about it on stream before.
Yeah, Noel says Katie's sitting on behind me. Literally said 30 Days a Night. Nope, that's fair.
Yeah, I've spoken about it before. My love for this film.
What do I think of The Faculty? I think it was a good movie for its time. Late '90s movie. I think it was really good. I don't know if it's aged properly, but I think it's good. Hey, Katie with 100 bits. I can read Spawn like a book. That's fair.
True.
Yeah, I'm knowing that because there's fucking no shot I'd have guessed that movie. No shot at all. And guys and girls, if the stream crashes again, I'll be right back. It takes 2 seconds for me to load it. I don't know why it keeps crashing, but if it does, thank you all. Katie, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate it, and where am I going with this? Because I've been drinking with my dad all day, and now I'm drinking here. Appreciate the love, appreciate the raid, you guys. We talked about this before on I think last week. Spawn and I did, and before I get into my number 15 pick, I just want to say, I appreciate you all like supporting us, and I'm very glad to have met you all. We said it more last week, but I'm not gonna get into that again. You just watch the video, watch the VOD. It's fine. All right. You guys, anything you want to add to your pick?
No. I think I've said everything I need to on 30 Days Night.
All right.
So good.
Well, my number 15 pick, continuing the trend of horror comedies, is a 1986 film written, directed by Fred Decker. It stars Tom Atkins. The mustache. He's in this movie. Not this movie, but he's in it.
Okay.
The main plot is related to zombies. It also mixes slashers with an alien invasion. It's not well known, but it has developed a huge cult following, which I'm glad to see because it is my 15th favorite horror movie. It is Night of the Creeps. It is a movie that started 1959. An alien experiment crashes to Earth. It infects some fraternity members. They freeze the body, then move to modern day, which is 1986. 2 people work at the fraternity thaw the corpse. It infects the campus. Parasites transform their host into zombies. Mayhem follows. It's your standard B 1980s horror movie, but it's fun because Tom Atkins is in it, and I'm a huge Tom Atkins fan. I love the mustache. I love him in Halloween 3. Love him in The Fog. Love him in Night of the Creeps. I actually have a Night of the Creeps figure of Tom Atkins. Like once Scream Factory released Night of the Creeps on Blu-ray, and when they did that, they created a limited edition figure for that release. I'm like, well, gotta get that, and I did just that. It is. It's a fun movie. It's not a good movie, but it's a fun movie. And to me, it touches on all the important horror tropes of the time, which is why I rank it at number 15. And if you can't tell, apparently I love horror comedies. When I was making my list, and I didn't catch on until probably like right around here. I'm like, man, I got a lot of horror comedies on my list. And then the trend continues later on. So I don't have any for at least another 6 or 7 picks, but yeah, it continues.
Good choice.
I'm a huge fan of it. I don't know if you've seen it, chat. I know Noel says he's never seen it. I would recommend it. If you like B movie horror fare, this is a almost Mad Lib version of a B horror movie. It is a fun movie, and I would highly recommend going to see it. Or not going to see it, but renting it on Amazon or Shudder or whatever it's on right now. And B horror movies are my favorite. Yes, they are. They are my favorite. I love it. All right, number 14. Number 14. All right, yeah, we're on number 14. On you, buddy.
I don't think this is going to happen in Twitch's comments, but this is where I'm going to get absolutely killed in YouTube comments. My favourite John Carpenter film, and it's not Halloween.
Ooh, 976 Evil. Oh man, that's a doozy most people don't know about. John Carpenter film that's not Halloween.
This is my favourite one, and it's not Halloween.
Noel says The Thing, and I don't think YouTube comments would shit on you for putting that on your list. The vampire movie set in space.
No.
Man, John Carpenter movie that's not Halloween, that's horror related. I think it was just called John Carpenter's Vampires, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not vampires. Right.
Yeah, because we number one vampire movie we've already talked about. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
But I'll get into it. Of course, it's directed by John Carpenter. This is going to give it away. The lead character is played by Roddy Piper.
Oh, it's They Live.
They Live is my all-time favourite John Carpenter film. This film is... Man, it touches on so many things. Like, he puts his glasses on and he can see, like, the obey and everything. And it touches on you. It's still true today. And just, if you watch this, by the way, peeps, just watch it, man. I know I might be on an island on my own here with this being my favourite one. John Carpenter film, but I've got to be honest with myself, man. I love this film. I absolutely adore They Live. And just, it's still true to today, man. Just like how we can put the glasses on and he sees the obey and how sort of people can be nice to your face, but and they're just completely different behind your back. And I like the whole alien aspect. And
well,
you know,
but before you get too much in it, Katie hasn't seen it. She needs to watch it. I highly recommend you see it. So you might not want to get too crazy. Yeah,
I won't say a lot. Just Roddy Piper's in it, who was in the WWF back in the day. Great wrestler as well. Hilarious. Meg Foster's in it, who plays Holly.
Yep.
You got Keith. I won't say a lot on it, Katie. You got Keith David, who plays Frank. This film's brilliant. Just watch it. It just a quick. I've already given you the quick synopsis on it. I've given no spoilers away. You see in the trailer that when he puts it on, he can sort of see things that we can't. So that's all I'm going to say on it. I'm sure Raven, you're a fan of it as well. They Live.
Yeah, it's also on my list.
Yeah, it's awesome. So. Katie, people in the chat, if you watch it, go and watch it. I know I've said I'm in an island when it comes to this, that it's my number one favourite John Carpenter film. Before it used to be Halloween, but like The Thing. Don't get me wrong, but it's never competed with Halloween for me. The Thing, I do love The Thing, but yeah, Halloween's always above that for me. But even above Halloween for me, like I say, is They Live. I love this film. I just love the commentary on it, and it still holds true. No matter what, in 25 years, 50 years, 100 years, this film will still talk true of any era that we're in. Does that make sense,
Oh
Raven?
yeah,
Any
yeah.
era we're in, it's just got so much, and that's all I'm going to say, because I know Katie hates in it, maybe Peeps hates in it. But yeah, my number 14 is They Live.
And No Name's name as actually I know he's not. I mean I don't say I know. It for me it pays homage to actually No Name, who was Roddy Piper's essentially character's name in that movie. And every time I see No Name, I always think of No Name from
Yeah, yeah.
They Live. So I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that's what I think of you when I see your name, Noel. It's a fantastic movie. It's also on my list, so I don't want to. I don't want to talk too much about it. I guess it's not, but you dig it. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I agree with you. It's not. It's not. Hmm. To me, it's not Carpenter's best work, but it's enough to put it on my list. And Carpenter's a huge part of my list. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in for
yeah,
that.
it's brilliant.
All right, all right, nice, nice. Well, yeah, yeah, I don't want to because we had to skip ahead some picks if I start talking about it. So I don't have anything to add. You want to add anything to it?
No,
No.
no. Like I say, it's just I think it's so much of a unique film. In 100 years, it'll still have commentary on the world then,
Oh
like
yeah.
it still does now.
Oh yeah.
It's got everything. Just watch it. That's all I'm going to say. If you're hating it, and Katie, I'm sure you'll love it.
I can't. Yeah, I highly recommend it. You should all sit down and watch it. 100%. All right. Well, for me, at number 14 is a movie that might sound weird for me, but it contains no sex, nudity, no profanity, or little profanity. It's tame, mostly bloodless. It only has brief depictions of alcohol and smoking, but yet still got an R rating. And let's see if I can. It's based off events from 1971. Um, and to me,
Ah,
it was the first horror movie in. I am getting, I am getting so aggravated right now. All right. Anyway, like I was saying, it was the first movie in years, first horror movie in years that actually gave me goosebumps. And it's a little movie called The Conjuring. Uh, family man brings his family to an old farmhouse in Rhode Island. The family finds a hidden basement that's kind of like locked up with planks. And soon they're getting haunted by ghosts and noises. Uh, and then obviously the stars of the show, Ed and Lorraine Warren, show up and do their paranormal thing and investigate the house. For a horror movie to give me goosebumps and on a topic that I don't believe in, uh, says a lot for me. I don't believe in ghosts and I don't believe in things that go bump in the night. So, uh, but when I watched this movie, I remember sitting in my recliner and I was like, "Oh man, I am kind of fucking freaking out a little bit," and this is this movie here is all the praise that the Exorcist should be put on The Conjuring, because this is a creepy movie done right, and it is.
Aquaman.
Thank you for making me laugh because I'm getting annoyed. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. This movie here is a fantastic movie, and it is done so brilliantly. It doesn't do any of the tropes. Like I said, there's no blood. There's really no blood. There's really no violence. There's no cussing. There's no gore. It is your imagination, and like I told you earlier when we started this, like those type of movies really dig at me because once you start letting your mind do the tricks, anything is possible. And this movie lets you do that, and it is brilliant, brilliant. And like I said,
We'll say
one of the first movies. One of the first movies in years. Like, because when you're a kid, you watch horror movies and you get like scared and you get creeped out. You kind of like, I don't know, want your stuffed animal or a blanket or something. That movie did that for me, and I was that came out in 2013, so I was like, I was like 33, so I am old, by the way. I'm 43, so there's that. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's my number 14 pick. Go ahead, go. You wanted to add something to it? Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Yeah, I will say, it's one of the. It is a classic already. Now, what The Conjuring 1 did to you is what Conjuring 2 did to me.
Okay.
The Conjuring 2 did that to me. It was The Nun. Now, well, I can say The Conjuring, none of them are on my list. They'll come close, but they're not on my list. But I agree, The Conjuring 1 is absolutely fantastic. And it's just The Nun that got me in The Conjuring 2, man. It's just where she appears and she's just there, man. It's the first time I've had goosebumps in so long. I was like, oh my god.
It is.
So, but I agree,
good.
man. Conjuring's fantastic.
It is so good. It is. I love everything about it. I gotta turn off. Okay, it's off.
Right, so I guess do you want to add anything else to it, Raven?
No, if you haven't seen it, see it. Nick says it was creepy. Katie says she liked it a lot. Again, chat, I'm so sorry if stream crashes. Just bear with me. I'll be back in 10 seconds. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because of Discord or not. I'm gonna do some testing later on, but I apologize and thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. We both appreciate it.
We do.
All right, so number 13.
Well, funny enough, Raven, it's I don't know if you noticed that I laughed when you said something because you've already said my number 13.
Uh-oh.
It's not The Conjuring.
Uh-oh.
You said it, that's why I laughed. My number 13 is The Exorcist.
Oh, okay.
My number 13 is The Exorcist. Now, it fits into... When people watch this, they should be petrified, but me being... I mean, let's just put it that I don't believe in devil, I don't believe in demons, but I've always liked the idea of them, and since a young age, I've always been obsessed with demons. So when I watched this film, I just instantly fell in love with it. For people that don't know how much I love it, it's my ringtone. Sometimes I just randomly play the song. I absolutely adore the Exorcist song. I love the Exorcist, and again, Linda Blair, who plays Regan's amazing. And a lot of people don't know this, and I don't know if I don't know why they don't know it. Maybe they're just not a freak like me and obsessed with demons. But the actual demonic figure is known as Pazuzu. You see at the start of the film, that's called Pazuzu. Apparently, a lot of people don't know that's Pazuzu. That's what sort of starts it all. Now, I get it. If I could go back in time, I'd love to go back to 1973 when this film came out because it caused so much hype. And if you believe in this sort of stuff, if you believe, if you're a Christian, you're petrified because you already believe in this. So people passed out, people was being sick, they had to run out the cinema. My nan, I believe it was her sister, told me the story with this film. Um, because weird story, like I was, this was at the old house. I was just in my room on my own watching The Exorcist. I was laughing. I was laughing because I love it. And my nan come in. She was like, "What's wrong with the house? Is it? I love The Exorcist." I says, "I've watched it how many times? It don't get to me." And it was like, "What's wrong with us?" I can't explain it. I love demons. And she says, her sister went to the cinema and she watched it up to until where just spoilers alert for people. I'll give you 5 seconds. Right. Now where Regan turns red.
Yep.
Yep. She ran out and run all the way back to her house. She come in petrified, shaking. I don't know if people know this. Don't know if you've seen it on the documentary. People was actually passing out in the cinema watching this film. The impact it had was unbelievable, and I don't think another horror film will ever have that impact. Now, the director, as much as I love him for what he done, the director was a prick. He tortured these actors. He had them in a freezing cold room. It was freezing throughout the set. A lot of them was ill. Regan completely damaged her back in this film, Linda Blair. Because you know where they're doing it. She was actually screaming and crying in pain. The director was a dickhead, but he wanted to make the scariest film ever made. And for that time, it might not be as scary now these days. Some people still get freaked out by it. But in 1973, he created the world's scariest film, and some people still say to this day it's the scariest film. And like I say, it's got a great cast. You've got Linda Blair who plays Regan. You've got Ellen Burstyn played Chris McNeil. You got Max as Father Lankin, and and like I say, you've got they mention a few. You got Pazuzu that they mention as well. They don't mention it. It's just the thingy. It's actually that starts it where he gets like the cross thing, I believe. What's it called? The demonic figure, I'll call it, the Pazuzu, which starts it all, and just I can get it. Like I say, if you're Christian, this is going to petrify you because, I mean, I don't have kids, but for somebody who has kids, to imagine yourself going through that, like your little girl doing a Ouija board, and then slowly being turned into this monster, you can sort of imagine what it'd be like for the mom. So I get it from that point of view, but I don't know. Even from when I was young, I always had this weird obsession with demons, which was through the wrestler Kane. So yeah, it didn't really scare me. There were a few scenes that was like, oh my god, like what she does with the cross and stuff. That was sort of like, oh god, what's going on? But if I could go back just once, it'd be to 1973 to see The Exorcist. Like I said, I love this film. Like I say, it's my ringtone. And sometimes I'll just randomly listen to the music. I fucking love this film. That's why it's at number 13 for me. It's got worse, eh? It was like this last time. It went off
Yeah.
maybe twice.
I think it has something to do with Discord. I think.
You think it's to do with that?
I don't know. I maybe have to update Discord or something because when I'm playing with my
Yeah.
friends, like they play on PlayStation, so like I don't, or when I'm playing on PC, like I can just do cross chat. I don't have to worry about Discord. Uh,
Okay, I'll
but
get you.
anyway, I'm back. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm getting pissed. Breathe. Um. So yeah, The Exorcist. Uh, I have a um. I don't know. I don't. I have a very unpopular opinion about this movie, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say. So,
Okay, okay.
and if you haven't already. I would say if you hold this movie in high regard, don't meet Linda Blair.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. She's kind of not nice.
Did not know that. I've not met Linda Blair. I met her.
Yeah, yeah, Nick. Yeah, 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 yeah. I have so I love The Exorcist, and then maybe what 6 months ago or something like that, my 14-year-old daughter was like hey, she was like, hey, you want to watch The Exorcist? I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm in. Uh, and we watched it, and I'm like, I don't, I, I it's, I did not like it as much as I did when I was younger, and even my daughter, 14, was like, this is not good, and uh, so obviously this movie's not on my list, so I can feel like I talk about it. Uh, it will definitely be on my list of movies that I think are not over that are overrated when we do it. Uh, yeah, Linda is not a nice person.
Did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah,
Did not know that.
you are correct. We're considering she's only relevant for one role in her 70s. That yes, you would think that uh, being that yeah, she would be nice. But if she's on the same convention circuit as other people from The Exorcist, like Captain Howdy, the face of Captain Howdy, right? Like when
Yeah.
the demon pass shows up, she gets really annoyed and doesn't like it. Uh, so what was she like? She's my wife is
She's
blunt.
sort of full of
Yeah, my
herself or
wife is
something.
blunt. She's like she's a bitch. She's just very off-putting. Um, Eileen Dietz, who plays Captain Howdy, who it was obviously only in the movie for quite literally 2 to 3 seconds. And it's when
Yeah, really was.
Captain Howdy flashes up. She was there, and she was super pissed about her being there for some reason. By the way,
Yeah.
yes, as my wife says, Eileen Dietz is amazing. She's the sweetest of people. Um, and obviously, like most everybody else that's in that movie is unfortunately passed on. Like Max von Sydow, who
Yeah.
just passed, and uh, the preacher, I can't remember his name. You said it earlier. He's passed. There's not very many people left in the film around, but essentially, it's like I don't know, Queen Bee syndrome. I guess for lack of a better word. Yeah, yeah. And
I mean, I will say it's a big part of it is the Regan aspect and the demon aspect, because in films that's where I really gravitate towards. It's a big part of that. I will say one thing, which I tell you normally, it's rare that a film that's a slow burner is on my list. Normally, I need action, action, action. I believe, looking at my list, I believe it's the only slow burner on here. Because it's quite a slow burner, right? The Exorcist.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's the
t-
only slow burner on there.
it's 2 hours.
Yeah,
It's 2 hours of Reagan at the doctor's office, and then 15 minutes of an exorcism.
yeah, yeah. It's the only. Normally, I am one of these that needs like bang, 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 like, like
It was
non-stop
boring that
like
you
that.
thought. Yeah, I.
It's
All
the
right,
only
so like
slow burner I like.
obviously I'm like I mean I your picks and I obviously we have that respect or whatever. Like for me, this movie is like I said, yeah, it's boring. Like it's literally 2 hours of Reagan at the doctor's office, and then it's a 15-minute movie at the 15-minute exorcism, which then is the shit kicks up. Like it picks up pace. Like
Yeah,
that's really
yeah.
cool.
That's
But
what
yeah,
gets it for me. That's what gets it for me. It's literally the last 15 to 20 minutes that gets it for me because, like I said, I think when you got horror films, I think it depends what you look for. And me being for somebody that's kind of got an obsession with demonism and has a fascination with that sort of stuff, um, I think that's it. And it's the last 20 minutes that grabs me. Like, people are petrified, like when she turns her head. I just think it looks cool. and it's hilarious to me.
No, that's fair.
I like how she gets off the bed and her eyes roll back. Somebody that's into demonism, I just gravitate towards that sort of stuff more. Um, and I used to actually have, which I'm sort of gutted to say I don't have it no more. I I used to have the actual Ouija board that they used in that film.
What?
Yeah, it broke now. I mean, I still have Ouija boards behind me. I actually have an Annabelle Ouija board that I've got. That it's quite a collector's edition now. The Annabelle Ouija board. I used to have the one from The Exorcist, and it broke, man. I was gutted.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'd be fucking. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was gutted.
That'd be sad. Yeah, like I'm glad it's on your list, and that's cool. I'm glad you like it. That was one of the. I had a bad experience with Linda. She might not be that way 90% of the time, although I hear horror stories from other people. Um, but yeah, that and and honestly, had I not watched it 2 or 3 months ago with my daughter, it probably would have made this list. But then I rewatched it. I'm like, dude, this is just her 2 hours at the office and like doctor's office, and then like it's the 15 minutes that really does it. Like that last 15 minutes, you are correct. That last 15 minutes is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
It is fucking amazing.
Because when you get from a list, you'll realise that it's the only slow burner film. Like, I can't really do slow burner films that much. It needs to be like bang, 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 like action, blood, gore.
Yeah. We definitely talked about that. I know you love your gore and everything like that, so I'm surprised that's on your list, honestly. Yeah.
It's the old demonic side that gets me with that because I do like that sort of films. But I will agree, it's very slow burner.
Maybe Linda had explosive diarrhea that day. Maybe Linda is explosive diarrhea. That's just gonna be my take on it. And I'm sorry for the rant. That movie.
Hey, no, we don't regret it, man.
She triggered me. She triggered me long ago, and I have a one sheet. I have a 27 by 41 one sheet Exorcist of horizontal one, and I got her, and I got Eileen Dietz, and I got that the Reagan bloody footsteps figure where she's doing a spider walk backwards. I had her sign that, yeah. But like I'm like, I'd rather. Kind of wish I didn't now, but we'll see. All right. Well, anything you want to add to your 13 pick?
Now, like I say, man, I've already said it, but it's the Regan part when she becomes possessed and the old, your mother sucks cocks in hell. That's a classic line. It's the last 20 minutes that does actually do it for me. I love the last 20 minutes. It's now, like I say, I don't want to repeat myself. It's the only slow burner film on here, I believe, on my list.
All right. Yeah, you've only really met. Nick says he's only ever really met J-Lo, and she was the nicest person ever. That's amazing too, because I've heard horror stories about her as well. But that's actually kind of cool. You met J-Lo. My number 13 pick. And the aptly named and the apt spot is a movie that you've already talked about at your number 20, which is Friday the 13th, Part 7. That is my number 13th pick. Isn't Felicia Rose a really nice person to meet? Yeah, Felicia's a doll. Yeah, I am actually friends with her. Well, Facebook friends, but yeah, we she's a gas. Friday the 13th Part 7 is my 13th spot. That wasn't done on purpose, by the way. I know that might seem that way, but it's really not. Once you see my top 12, you're going to understand why it's like at 13. But as you touched out, if we're on a desert island and I'm only allowed 20 movies, this is the Friday the 13th movie that I'm putting on there. I have Jason tattooed. I have him tattooed on my arm, which I'll show you guys real quick. Got him. Get off my hood. Get off me. Get off me. Night, everyone. Heading off to bed. Scottish, thank you for stopping out. I appreciate it. It's got to be what? Fucking 12:30 out there. I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, it is.
Stopping in and everything. Much love, as always. And I just sipped up my microphone because I'm a bot.
Okay, enjoy your sleep.
Thank you for shouting her out. I appreciate it. Katie is amazing. She is great, fantastic nurse at Dead by Daylight. Also, she does crazy stuff in Elden Ring that I would never even try. So, I, let alone play the game. She does crazy stuff I would never even try. Yeah, so the My Number 13 spot is Friday the 13th Part 7, and like you touched on it, it's the introduction of Kane as Jason, who is hands down the best Jason there ever was. It is also supposed to be the movie that was supposed to be Freddy versus Jason. Obviously, rights and issues like that couldn't get it come about, so they ended up doing the telekinesis bit with Tina. Laura Parr Lincoln is an amazing person. I had a huge crush on her when I met her in real life. My wife embarrassed the absolute fuck out of me by telling her that all of that stuff. Yeah, I was not happy about that. But it's great. Like, I've met William Butler, who plays Nick. Laura Parr Lincoln, obviously Kane. I met John Carl Buechler. All R.I.P. by the way. All fantastic people. And it was this movie. We've talked about it before. This is the Friday the 13th movie for me. This is it, and this is the only movie that we've discussed thus far in our film series that is actually on my list, because this to me is the quintessential Friday the 13th movie. And I don't want to rehash everything that we've already talked about in previous VODs, but this is why it's at 13. And I'm glad to see there was at number 20. I'm glad to see it was at your number 20. I thought my stream crashed.
It had to be on there.
Yeah, I feel like it did. I feel like it did.
It had to be on there. I needed it. I couldn't live without it. I need that one as well.
Yeah. That's the one movie that's going to be on my list. It's going to be that one. So, I won't waste any more time talking about Friday the 13th. We've already discussed that one ad nauseum. So we'll move on to number 12. So Spawn, take it away.
Right, well, number 12 is a film that we spoke about. Unfortunately, talking of dickheads, from what you've told me, I mean, when I met him, he was sort of okay, but I've got to be honest, and it's got to be on it. It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
Oh wow!
2003.
Okay.
I love this film. I adore this film, and it's one I couldn't be without. I've spoke about it. I got to rehash all through it, but like it seems like you've had a worse experience with Andrew than me. I mean, he was just sort of like borderline, like normal with me, if that makes sense. He wore over thingy, like how some actors non-stop talk to you and that. He was just sort of like in between. There's no doubt he was brilliant as Leatherface. He was brutal. Ollie Emery as Sheriff was brutal, man. You got the weird dude, David Dorfman, the Jedua, the weird kid.
Yep.
You got Jessica Biel as the final girl. The director was Marcus Nispel, I believe his name was. I don't know if I pronounced it right. But we spoke about this in. If people want to get my full info on it, we've done Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the rankings. But this film, brutal, man. It offers everything that I personally look for. To me, it's non-stop action. It's gory. Leatherface is a beast in it. Again, Ollie Emery's just absolutely psychotic in it. I love this film. It's just a rehash basically of what happens in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's just a bloodier version.
It is.
That's basically what it is. But I adore this film. I love it. So yeah, for me, Texas Chainsaw the remake is at number 12 for me. I couldn't live without this film, and I watch it a hell of a lot.
Yeah, and I mean it's a good one. And like personal differences aside between Andrew Barniski. It's a great movie. I mean, it's definitely one that wouldn't be on my list, but I can see why it'd be on your list because it is brutal. And it is it is a great movie. It is a fantastic movie. And fun fact, you know who that little kid, the little weird kid? Do you know what other movie he was in?
No, but I know it's going to piss me off when you tell me.
Yeah, he was the son in The Ring. He was.
Oh, yes, of course he was.
Yep.
God damn it.
Yeah,
What about that? Jesus Christ. I love The Ring as well. Funny enough, that's actually not on my list. There's a spoiler, but I do love The Ring. This is why we need to do a top 50 as well, like Halloween.
yeah. Well, I would definitely do like, yeah, I'm in for that. Yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to get that all in, so we're not. Well, we're not doing this for 12 hours, but
Yeah. I just thought it's best to bring that up. I put it to you earlier because I thought, well, it gives us a hell of a lot of time till Halloween.
Oh yeah,
So it gives us enough time to watch enough films.
yeah. I'm definitely in for that. Um, all right. Well, you got anything to add? Your number 12? 12?
No, not really. Like I say, it's everything that I look for in films. It's non-stop action. It's gory. The cast overall, I think, is pretty decent, and it's got everything that I look for. Like I say, it is just a rehash of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but at least they do a very good job of a classic remake, and to me, they do a great job.
That's what I do like about that movie is like they remade it. They kept parts of the original that were great,
Yep.
but they added their own element to it, which I liked. I mean, which is
Yeah,
fair. Which is fair.
yeah.
All right. My number 12 is a 1979 movie. It is about uh, orphan brothers. Uh, let's see here. It stars Reggie Bannister, Bill Thornsberry, Michael Baldwin, and last but not least, Angus Scrimm. It is a movie about a funeral director. It's a little movie we like to call Phantasm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That movie is in my number 12 spots.
Good choice.
Phantasm is one of those movies where you only know that because you saw me googling it. No, okay.
You know what you've got in my head now.
I believe you. What's that? What'd you say, Spawn?
You know what you got in my head now.
What's that?
Boy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I do.
Yeah.
I catch myself doing that all the time. Like I'll be playing Dead by Daylight, and it's not even a regular. It's not even like obviously Tall Man's not in it. But I'll be like, boy,
Yeah.
like,
Dude,
yeah, like,
I'll keep doing it with certain things that you've probably heard me keep doing. Tina, it's in my head, man.
yeah. Like it does. Like it's like it's. This movie is good. Like the effects aren't all that great, but it is um. It is just the build up, like seeing Angus pick up the coffin like one handed and just put it in put it in the hearse, and then like seeing what's his name like have sex with the lady in lavender, and like as they're having sex, she turns into the tall man. Like that shit's creepy, and it always kind of stays in the back of your head. Like man, like that's what. And then like how they've turned like the dead into like these small like gnome figures and things it's an interesting movie, and obviously the ball of death. Everybody knows the sphere. It sticks in your head, drills in, gets pointed out. Uh, it's an iconic. I mean, it's an iconic piece of horror movie cinema. Is the spear, the sphere from Phantasm, and Angus. I didn't get to meet him, unfortunately. I was on my way to Day of the Dead, which is a horror con in Indianapolis, and he was a guest, and we didn't go where he passed away. One of the two. I can't remember. But I was sad that I didn't get to meet Angus because from what I heard, Angus is was the sweetest of guys, and I love the Phantasm series as a whole. It's not on many people's radar when they start talking about like the greatest horror movie franchises, but for me, this is one of the ones that rank really, really high. And I love the Tall Man. I love Angus. I love Phantasm. Love everything about it. And that's really all. And to quote Forrest Gump, and that's really all I got to say about that.
It's a great choice, man. Yeah, it is great. It is. There's only in that series. There's only one more film I like more than that one. You can probably guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but it is. It's a classic. It's brilliant, and yeah, it's just that sticks in your head like boy. It just
Yeah,
it's
oh
there,
yeah,
man.
boy.
It's always there. It's always there. So,
Sinfornia,
do you want to add any?
Sinfornia, I did love that. I did love that convention. Until Adolfo and his partner left. There were 3 people that worked it, and now only one works it, and the other 2 left, and now I don't care for it. Like it's, but personal preferences aside, I'm glad they're still doing it, but I probably won't go to another Days of the Dead. That's all I got for 12. Yeah, let's move on to number 11 for you.
Okay, well, number 11 for me.
Number double one.
Welcome back. Yeah, double one actually. Yeah. Number 11 for me. I guess Welcome Back Leatherface because it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre the original.
Oh wow, okay. We got Leatherface on here twice.
Yep. As I've always preferred the original over the remake, even though it's less bloody. It just feels like I said this in the rankings. When I'm watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it doesn't feel like I'm watching a film. It feels like you're watching somebody that was recording and got completely butchered during the film. It feels so real. I mean, director Tobe Hooper, brilliant. You got Marilyn Burns as Sally, who's fantastic. Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface, fantastic. Edwin Neal as the Hitchhiker, he's crazy. Jim Suda as the old man, and just for Raven, Paul A. Parton, who played Franklin. I thought I'd throw that in there, just and how much Raven likes him. But yeah, for me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre the remake. What can you say about it? It's when you're watching it, like I say, I don't know how it is for you, Raven. To me, it doesn't feel like a film. It feels real when I watch it, even though there's no blood in it. It's just so brutal and so good. And I thought, man, it was like I need to have 2 Texas Chainsaw Massacres in the list. I thought I need them. So them are the 2 that I would have. So for me, yeah. There's not a whole lot wrong with this film. It's brutal. Even with no blood, it's brutal. And for me, it's always that when I watch this film, it just does not feel like a film, man. It feels like real footage.
No, I agree with you. Like we've talked about that before, and I won't keep everybody. But yeah, I'm. I mean, I agree with you. I wish this movie was on my list, but at the same time, like it's not on my list, even though it's one that kickstarted horror for me. But there's just so many movies that like I wanted to include.
Now I get that, man. Trust me, the films that I missed out on here might shock you because there's just some that I was like, yeah, I love them, but I've got to be honest with myself here. Like, if I did have to choose top 20, it would be these, and I've just had to be honest with myself, even with others.
That's kind of that's fair, and why my next picks. I thought I was going to try to be like diversive and like kind of only include one or whatever, but my next pick has somebody who's he's involved in 3 of my movies coming up, sir. So I mean, like it's yeah, I get what you're saying, and I'm glad to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre on it. It almost made my list, but then I realized that I needed I wanted to go like we talked about offline how I went. And,
yeah.
But yeah. Also, this is getting terrible. I'm drinking way too much for me. I'm having a good time now. Now we're in it, y'all. I'm having a blast.
Hey, dude, you only live once, man.
Right, right.
That's all I look at it.
Well, anything you want to add for your number 11?
No, like I say, just there's not a lot I've got to say about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a classic, man, and I just thought about it. I thought I need the original and I need the remake. I love these two films, so that's why it's at number 11 for me with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
That is bold. That both like two of your top 20. If I'm on a desert island and these are the only movies I want to watch for the rest of my life. Yeah, that's bold to have both the remake and the original on there. I don't think many people
Yeah.
would have. I mean, no matter what the movie, it'd be have them on their list like that. That's bold. I like it. I like it.
It's
I definitely
because
I wouldn't have it.
this might shock people.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
on,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
mate.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like it might shock people. Like I do like the remake nearly as much as the original. The remake for me is that good. It's that good for me. The remake, I love it. But it's just to me, as good as the remake is, and as good as they done it and put their heart and soul into it, which I'm happy with. Um, it's the it's the feel of the original. Like I say, when I'm watching Texas the remake, it feels like I'm watching a film. When I'm watching the original film, like I've said, it just feels like I'm watching it unfold on the
Yeah.
news or something. It just feels so real. Even with no blood, it's still brutal. Not many films can do that.
Agreed. Agreed. Uh, I definitely respect that. Respect that. All right. Well, if you don't have anything to add, then I guess I'll come on to my number 11, and it is the first of three, although not in a row, um,
Ooh.
movies featuring a director who you've already brought up. Uh, he's made a lot of quintessential horror films. He's obviously made Halloween. He's made They Live. He's made some other stuff that we'll end up talking about. But my number 11 is another movie that I watched last night just to prepare for this, and it's a little movie, 1982, featuring Kurt Russell called The Thing. Um, this is it's number 11 for me for movies that if I'm on an island to watch. But if I'm recommending people, it's higher. It's higher. Like it is everything about this movie is fundamentally perfect. They give away the story in the very beginning of the movie, with the dog like running across the glacier, and the Norwegian yelling, "Hey, don't touch that dog! You know it's an alien." Like if you have subtitles on, you catch that. And they give away like earlier on, if before subtitles, if you spoke Norwegian, you knew what they were saying, which is crazy to me that they kind of give away the whole movie there at the very beginning. Um, and there's something about this movie that I like that I don't think it's fair shake, and it's the casting of this movie. Now you have a movie where you have all of these individuals locked up in a shelter in Antarctica, but have you noticed how different everybody is? There's nobody lost in the confusion. There's McGreedy, Keith David, Wilford Brimley's character. They're all they're all different. None of them looks alike. There's Blair's character, and I like that too because you could easily get lost distinguishing between who's who in a situation like that. But the casting in this movie is done so perfectly to have McCready with the beard and the long hair. Then you have Blair with the beard but the short hair. You have Wilford Brimley with the doctor with the glasses, no beard. Then you have I can't remember his name, but he has the glasses and the beard. Like it is. They're so characteristically different, and for me, that's important in a story where you're trying to decipher who is who, and are they possibly infected by this alien parasite. And it is a brilliant tale. People are getting picked off one by one, trying to decipher who's who. The ending even though now you should know who is the alien and who is the person. The ending is phenomenal. It leaves it up for you to figure it out, but a smart person realizes who it actually is, and in the grand scheme of things, if I'm recommending my top 20 horror movies to people, this is probably top five, if not a little higher. And in the grand scheme of movies I just love to watch and have fun with, easily at number 11.
Yeah, and I agree. You know what's what mad as well, Raven, right? I will say The Thing's a perfect horror film. It's perfect. It is. It's brilliant. I know it's not on my top 20 of all time list, but do you know what's mad? If we was doing top top 20 best horror films, not of mine, like if if it wasn't top 20 that if they exist anymore, we can only keep these. It'd be in there. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because, for example, is Strangeland better than the Thing? No, but it's weird where you can choose a film that's not better than it, but you take to it more. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Now, if this was a list of just all right, this has just got to be purely the best horror films of all time, it'd probably be in the top 10. But because it's the list that I could only keep forever that I'd want to watch, is why it's out of it. But I will say it's a perfect horror film, and it'd definitely be in my top 5 to give to people to watch of all time.
I agree. For me, it is the perfect horror film. Like
it is, it's perfect.
It is. Like I said, it would probably rank super high as far as films that, because I feel there are several perfect horror films. But easily. I hate to do this to you. Can you give me 2 seconds? Can you entertain chat and talk about for a second? I have to piss so bad. All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I can keep them entertained, yeah. It's all right. Yeah, I do agree with him though. With The Thing, it's definitely a perfect horror film. And if for some reason, if you like horror films and you've not watched it, make sure you can give it a go. So, not going to say it yet, but flipping over actually up to our top 10 coming up. I'm intrigued to see what's going to be his number 1. Unfortunately, I can't see the chat peeps. I'm just on Discord, so I do apologise. I can't see any of the chat, so I do apologise there. Because I've just got it. We've got to figure a way so I can do it on Twitch as well. Because as you know, I normally stream on Twitch. But when it comes to Discord, I'm not quite sure how to do it yet. So, but yeah, we've this has gone well. I don't know what we're doing next. I know with Katie, we're doing the Alien franchise. And again, if you haven't seen the other franchises that we've done, make sure you get to YouTube and watch them. We've got a lot more stuff coming, which I'm very, very intrigued to do. So yeah, it's we're halfway there now, Raven. We're at number 10, man.
Yeah, halfway there. Halfway. More Spawn entertaining Symphonia, 10 for 10. This is the content Symphonia follows for.
Hello again, Symphonia.
All right, number 10 is up to you there, good sir.
Well, you can never keep a good guy down. My number 10 is Child's Play 2.
Okay, all right.
So if it's not obvious, that's unfortunately another spoiler, but my favourite Child's Play is number 2. To me, this, as amazing as Child's Play 1 is, this just takes it up a notch, and to me, it's the best Chucky we have. Which, by the way, Child's Play 3 is severely underrated. It's a very good film. I do like Child's Play 3. It's very underrated in my opinion, but number 2 is my favourite. We've got Alex Vincent, who plays Andy, of course. He's brilliant in the role. You got Brad Dourif, who does Chucky. You know, it wouldn't be the same. And then you have Christian Elise as Kyle. And I love Chucky's. You've got it in the original film, but Chucky's wit in this is just fucking hilarious. And I love the kills. Like he gives the bloke the heart attack without touching him. They're just mental, and he's just looking at him like, what the fuck? Just how he says it all, man. It's hilarious. And come on, man. The last scene in this where he's like he melts and he's got the thing stuck on him, where he uses it as a weapon on his hand.
Yep.
Or toy hand, I guess. And how he melts. That is one of the best endings in all of horror films, man. That last scene, I mean, the whole film for me, Child's Play 2, is perfect. The ruler, and he comes walking out, he's got that evil grin, and he's walking slow with a ruler, and his one-liners. To me, Child's Play 2 is a perfect mixture of horror with tiny bits of comedy in there. That just it's right. So for me, my number 10 is Child's Play 2. And again, unfortunately, it's given away spoilers for the future. But yes, Child's Play 2 is my favourite Chucky, and it's one of the best horror films in my opinion.
I like that movie. It's a good one. Huge fan of Christine Elise, by the way.
She's amazing.
Yeah, Alex Vincent, Brad Dourif, all great guys.
Yep.
Alex Vincent is a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, by the way. He follows them everywhere, wherever they go.
Didn't know that. I've met Alex Vincent. I didn't know that.
Yeah. We are Facebook friends as well, and he goes follows Nine Inch Nails wherever they are on tour. Just goes and travels with them.
You know, that way. Talking of Nine Inch Nails, tell you what, we'll have to some point. I've just got so many ideas, and how we both have. We could do a top 10 albums of all time.
Oh, I'm in for that for sure. Spice it up
Definitely.
a little bit. Go music route. I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, we're sort of related. I think we've already had this comment that I think metal and horror films are somewhat connected. If you look at the lyrical themes and stuff, and the anger and stuff, it's pretty. You know, I think any metal band could make an horror film because it's. The lyrics are basically horror or anger related, or you know.
Yep. Yeah, I'm in for that. We can definitely do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know it's fucking getting late out there, so I guess we'll fly through this. Do you have anything you want to add to your number 10 spot?
No. Like I say, Child's Play 2, best in the franchise for me, and you know, I love the film, hence why it's at number 10.
All right. My number 10 is a movie that you touched on already, also from John Carpenter, also a very fantastic movie that holds up no matter the time of year or the time we're in, and that's They Live. You pretty much hit everything on the head with this one. I mean, Rowdy Piper is great. Keith David, great. Meg Foster and her eyes are great. Everything. If you don't know who Meg Foster is in the 80s and you weren't watching fucking horror movies, like Meg Foster's eyes were fucking amazing in the 80s. And I mean, even older because like she was in 31. She's in Lords of Salem. Fantastic. I mean, just eerily like haunting eyes. But yeah, Roddy Piper as Nada, Keith David, the whole alien concept, Obey, how we kind of follow blindly with the media, things like that. I won't keep us on number 10 too long because this is, you've already touched on it, but They Live is a movie everybody should watch, and I think more importantly, everybody should watch now, considering like all the events that happen within the world. I think this movie's almost a documentary on today's society, as opposed to when it was initially created.
Yeah.
And that's really all I got for number 10. I will, because we've already talked about it, so I'll let you move on to number 9.
Okay. Yeah, it's just kind of shocked people that it's my favourite John Carpenter film. But come on, I mean, whether you like The Thing or Halloween over it, to me, it's not far behind. It's that good, in my opinion. I mean, which is why I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't prefer it a million miles over Halloween and the thing, but it just inches it that much more for me, just because of the political point as well.
It's relatable. That's what it
It's
is. It's
very
like
relatable.
very relatable. And I 1,000% agree with that. But yeah. All right.
And
Moving on to number 9 for you, good sir.
number 9 for me, and again, it's another spoiler coming for a series that we're doing.
Uh-oh.
But number 9 for me is Aliens.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Aliens is obviously it's the only Aliens film on this list, so you sort of know. But I guess you still don't know what number 2 is, 3, 4, and so you're not going to know the rest. But it's obvious now. Number 1's Aliens. Aliens to me is one of the greatest horror films ever made for me. I love the action in this, the kills in it. I love the xenomorphs. I just think it's non-stop action. I like the story of motherhood. Because you got two propelling stories going on. You got the Queen alien with all the baby xenomorphs, and then you've obviously got Ripley, played by I can never say her full name, so I'm just going to call her Weaver. And then you've got Newt the Kid, played by Carrie Ann. And you got two dynamics going on. Like I say, you got the Queen alien with the xenomorphs, the baby xenomorphs, if you want to call them that. And then you've got Newt and Ripley. Now, she's looking after her, to a degree. She takes her under her own wing, looking after her. But I like the whole story between the Queen alien and the xenomorphs, because when she's burning the facehuggers and the aliens, you can see the pain in the Queen alien's eyes. So you have this weird dimension where you sort of almost feel sorry for it, because it's still motherhood. Them are still her babies. So I like this dilemma you've got. It's like the aliens are monsters, but people that, I mean, I don't have kids, but mums and dads that have got kids probably can sort of understand the pain that's coming from the Queen alien. So it gives you this weird dynamic, and it's sort of like you sort of feel bad for the monster, because it's like you see the pain in the Queen alien's eyes. So it's a weird dimension, man, and this film's non-stop action for me. And like I say, man, Aliens is at number 9, and I love this film, man. I couldn't live without this film. I absolutely adore this film, honest to God, I love it. Aliens is just, for me, one of the most perfect horror films out there.
It's not on my list, but I agree with you. It is the spoiler. It is also my favorite of the franchise as well. So a very good pick there. And I'm not fond of that series as a whole, but Aliens stands out above the rest, and puts itself at a very good place within the horror, just the horror rankings in general, because it is, like as you said, the dynamic between Sigourney Weaver and Newt and Lance Henriksen and the introduction of the Queen, the Michael Bain. You got Michael Bine.
The corporatics.
What's his name? Bill Paxton. Everybody. Like it is.
The cast is just amazing.
Yeah, it's an action movie with horror themes, and it delivers on both accounts.
Yeah, I love this film. Like, yeah, it's amazing for me.
It is. It's a good one. It is a good one. Not on my list, but a good one.
Yeah.
All
It is hard to pick 20 though, when there's so many amazing horror films.
Right. All right. Anything you want to add?
No. I think I've said everything I need to say, and you've said it right. It's an action horror film. That's what it is, and it's go from the start, man. And they've got it down, man. Some of the kills in it are brilliant, man, and yeah, it's just amazing. And the old dynamic, it's sort of you sort of feel sorry for like the Queen alien. You shouldn't do, but you do.
I feel you. I feel you. All right.
So yeah, it's brilliant.
My number 9 is a movie close to my heart. Uh, it was my nickname for many years in softball and baseball. Um, it's actually from an area where you are from. It was filmed in 2004. It is. It received high accolades from George Romero uh, as part of the Coronado trilogy, and is the first one. And it is a movie we like to call Shaun of the Dead. Uh,
Okay.
Shaun of the Dead is uh, to me almost the perfect zombie movie. It is. It delivers everything that I want from zombies, and uh, it delivers the slow. It delivers the comedy, which apparently I like. As you can see, there's a theme for horror comedy I have going on here. Uh, Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright, and Nick Frost, who Simon Pegg plays Sean, Nick Frost plays Ed, are and it's an amazing comedic duo. They play off each other so well. And then like the little nuances where like Ed screams in the phone, "We're coming to get you, Barbara!" Like paying homage to Night of the Living Dead. It's to me, it is almost the perfect zombie film, uh, and my name is Sean, spelled the same way. So I also love that a little bit. But it is I it's one of those movies that like if I watched it yesterday or the day before, and my wife was like, "Hey, you want to watch Shaun of the Dead?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's watch it." Like I'm in, and it is like I said, it's almost perfect, and I don't know how well received it is over in England, but I imagine it's probably well received over there. But over here in
Oh,
America,
yeah.
everybody loves it.
Yeah, it was very well received. I mean, I like it, and I've said before, I'm not the biggest zombie fan, but I do like that film. There's a few select zombie films that I do really like, and I will watch. That one has shocked me. I do like it a lot, but I did not expect that to be on your list. I'll be honest. That
Yeah,
shocked me. It is a great film, and it is hilarious.
it is an amazing film. I absolutely
Like with the vinyls.
yeah, and you know like and
Yeah,
everybody like, well, that's because you got your name in it. That's no, it's not true. Like I mean, that name could have been called fucking Get Fucked Chuck, and I'd be like, yeah, I love this movie because like
yeah,
like you said, the vinyl records. He was like the Batman soundtrack. Oh yeah, throw it. He was like Prince. No, that's an original pressing. And
yeah.
Ed is just like, I'm sorry, Sean. Like what? I'm sorry. And Sean's like, oh god, like little fucking innuendo fart jokes. Uh, the homage just to the zombie genre as a whole. Even the little things like in the beginning of the movie, you see the shop clerk. She ends up being a zombie. She's Mary. She's the one that gets pushed on the pole. The soccer player, like all of those guys, the twins, they're all in there, and it's just a man. It's just a it's like
It is
99.
good.
It's 99.9% my favorite zombie movie. There's yeah, it's so good.
It is good. It is good. It is really good. But again, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because I know you're big into your zombies, are you?
I do. I didn't realize once we started talking about this and kind of creating lists and stuff like that. I was like, no, I guess I really do love. There's two genres I really love. It's the horror comedy and then like the subgenre of zombies. And yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah.
all right then. Well,
Good, good.
that's all for me for number 9. So I'll let you move on to number 8 here.
Right. Well, number 8 for me um, is just a little film known as The Shining.
Oh, okay, okay.
um, I love The Shining. You know, it is Johnny, Jack Nicholson again. One of probably in my top 5 actors of all time. I love Jack Nicholson. I think he's amazing. Plays Jack Torrance, of course. I don't know what it is about Wendy. She just cracks me up. She just makes me laugh. You've got Danny Lloyd, who plays Danny Torrance. You've got Lisa and Louise, who plays the twins. Where the classic scene with the bike. And the old ears, Johnny. It's just a classic, man. And the scene that gets me right every single time, and it cracks me up. And you shouldn't laugh, but I can't help it. Where he's like, I can't even keep a straight face doing it. Where he's like with Wendy, he's like, Wendy, I don't want to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to bash your brains in. I just want to bash your fucking brains in. And it's just how he says it, man. This film's just brilliant, man. You got the Red Rum, which is classic, the Slimes, which are fantastic, and for me, again, you're going to hear me say this a lot, especially within my top 10. You've heard me say it with Aliens, you've heard me say it with Child's Play, but again, The Shining is a perfect horror film, and anything with Jack Nicholson in benefits. Like I say, Jack Nicholson's in probably my top 5 actors of all time. There's nothing that man can't do. He's brilliant, and the dude's just money, man. And a lot of people there like Wendy. I like Wendy. She's a fun character. She's there to do what she needs to do, and it's just that line. I love it, man. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to bash your fucking brains in. And she's like, no, and he's just going crazy, and it's his face and he's mental, and yeah, man. The Shining's just absolutely brilliant.
I agree with you. That's not on my list, but it's one of those movies that if we talk about the quintessential movies that you need to watch, it ranks high. But on my personal list, not on there, but 1,000% on the quintessential list. That is a fantastic movie.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Love it.
I do like it too because like it's one of. You said The Exorcist was only the slow burn movie on there, but I think Shining is also a slow burn, and I think it does a better job of the burn than The Exorcist does. And it just delivers a great story, a great concept, and even if you don't believe in like ghosts and stuff like that, just the little things that it does is freaky.
Amazing.
Room 2, what was it? The girl in the bathtub. Ugh.
Oh yeah, that scene, man. Jesus Christ, yeah, man. It's that's what I mean. It's just so good, man. And like I say, Jack Nicholson's just one of the best actors in the world, man.
He is good. I liked him. Obviously, I like him as the Joker because the Joker is my favorite character. Like fictional character of all time. Like there's no character better than the Joker.
I like my t-shirt. I've got the.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Killing Joke. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I've got that.
Hell yeah. That's my favorite Joker story. For sure.
It's amazing. I have the book and the Blu-ray.
I love that movie. All right, well, I love after the 20 minutes in that movie. I don't know why we needed the Batgirl backstory, but yeah, I love the Killing Joke. Love it.
Yeah, it's so good.
All right. Well, so your number 8 was The Shining, huh? All right.
Yep. Yeah.
My number 8. Let's see if you can guess it here. All right. It's a lone survivor story. It features a shotgun. Possession. It is. It is. Let's see here. It's a game you play all the time, although it's not the first one.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
Yeah, my number 8 is Evil Dead 2. Not Evil Dead, because Evil Dead 2 is a remake. It's not a remake, but like Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2 are very confusing because you feel like Evil Dead 2 is a remake of Evil Dead. And while that's technically not the case, it is, to me, it's an apt version of it where it adds some comedic elements to it that kind of spawns into like Army of Darkness. But it is Evil Dead 2 is a better better representation of what the Deadite universe should be, and Bruce Campbell being Bruce Campbell as Ash is Ashley J. Williams for those that don't know, uh, is it's, this is Bruce Campbell at Bruce Campbell's finest. Just the cutting off of the hand, the chainsaw, Linda, uh, introduction of the Deadites. Like I know Evil Dead existed, but like for me, when I'm like, hey, I'm gonna watch the Evil Dead series, I don't really watch one anymore. I just go to Army of Darkness and then the remake and then the TV series. And because Evil Dead 2 is it is a great movie, and
Yeah,
I if you want to watch Bruce Campbell be Bruce Campbell, that is the movie to do it.
I agree. Um, all I'm going to say, there's a reason why I've got a smile on my face, and we'll get to that later. We'll get to that
Uh-oh.
later.
I think I finally touched on a Spawn movie that is on his list.
Yeah, it's a reason. We'll get to it.
Finally, I hit one. All right, so number seven, because I'll let you talk more about Evil Dead 2. Because my number seven, I think I want to talk about a lot because I love number seven. So your number seven is go ahead.
Well, number seven again is just a small film. Again, it's Silence of the Lambs.
Oh no shit, huh? Okay.
I mean, Silence of the Lambs, and people can say like, to me, this is an horror film. It's a horror film. It is. It's got elements of horror. It's Jonathan Demme. It's directed by you know, you've got Jodie Foster as Clarice. You've got Anthony Hopkins, who's just wow, amazing in this. You've
Yep.
got Ted Jarvis, who plays James Gunn. He's just fucking mental. And just, you know, when you talk about perfect films, man, this is one of them. Just it's so unnerving, and again, I wouldn't say it's covered with blood, but what the show is enough, and it's just the pace of it, and it's Anthony Hopkins' delivery, man, that just makes you feel uncomfortable. And again, this is one of them films, in my opinion, that takes you inside the mind of how a serial killer must think. Now, it talks about eating people, and I like the whole story with Clarice. Jodie Foster's amazing in this, by the way, as well. And again, you got James Gunn, who's just. Um, I think he was watching Marilyn Manson in the early 90s with his moves. Let's just say that. Um, so, yeah, I mean, I ain't got to say a lot about it, man. I think, you know, people can argue whether it's horror or not. To me, it's definitely horror. It's definitely got horror elements, and to me, it is an horror. It's a thriller horror film. This is what it is, and you know, and just how she needs him to find the other serial killer. And James Gunn, man, like how he's doing that weird dance, and he's got her locked down there in the is that a well? I think he's got her locked in the well. I believe it's called the well. Yeah.
Yep.
Just the whole aspect and how he makes Jodie Foster feel uncomfortable. Anthony Hopkins as Annabelle Lecter. You can just see it in the film, and I love this film, which is why for me it's at number 7. I think, you know, again, I'm trying not to say too much for people that may not watched it, but just please watch Silence of the Lambs. Anthony Hopkins alone is brilliant. Jodie Foster gives a great performance. All of them give a great performance. And again, to me, it's unsettling because to me, I imagine this is what sort of stuff must go through a serial killer's mind again. It's just unsettling. Like I say, you got the girl sat down there in the well. You got that crazy dude who's tucking stuff under his legs, let's just say that, and doing weird dances. And Annabelle Lecter, how he gets out is kind of brutal. like I say, for me, this is a great film, and Silence of the Lambs is at number 7 for me. I couldn't go into top 20 without having Silence of the Lambs for me and not being able to watch that film again.
That's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have silence. I've been, I've been kind of wrong. I mean, there's some movies that you've said so far, but I would not have had. If you were like, "Hey, is Spawn gonna put Silence of the Lambs on his list?" I'm like, no, no, that's interesting. Okay, okay.
I've always loved that film.
Yeah, that's and not my list, and honestly, I don't know if I'd put it on the quintessential list for me either, which is interesting because now I'm thinking about like well, that is a good film. Yeah.
I think just for me, I think it's brilliant.
No, I mean, it is a great film. Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, are fantastic. I mean, as always, they're both tremendous actors and actresses. Ted Levine, who is Buffalo Bill, who was also the cop in Fast and the Furious, which are some of
Yeah.
my, which are some of my, uh, what's that thing called? Where you love a movie franchise, but you know you shouldn't. It's a
Guilty pleasure.
yeah, guilty pleasure. That's the word I'm looking for. Guilty
Yeah,
pleasure.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is the yeah, guilty pleasure of mine. But yeah, Silence of the Lambs, man. I would not put Silence of the Lambs on the Spawn list. That's actually amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I watched that film quite a bit, man. I think it's only the other sequels are okay, but to me, the first one's just amazing, man.
All right. Uh, well, my number 7 and is a movie that I thought you would have on your list, but after you already said you're number 1 for that genre, you clearly don't. Um, it's a mid '90s horror movie for me. It's about vampires. It has some of the best one-liners in any vampire movie I've ever seen. Um, it has Harvey Keitel in it. It's a little movie directed by Robert Rodriguez called From Dusk Till Dawn. Uh, I honestly God, I thought that was like I was kind of just joshing around with my picks earlier, where I thought like oh there's no shot like it's Lost Boys. I'll say Lost Boys, but it's gonna be From Dusk Till Dawn. Uh, for you, I am shocked to hear that this movie will not make your list because it is a vampire movie that is
Yeah.
super fun, has great one-liners, it is violent, um, has has everything that I think you could ask for in a vampire movie. Vampires, a little bit of comedy shtick, fantastic kills, great storytelling. I think George Clooney is amazing in this movie. His line at the end where he's all like, where he's talking to Cheech Marin, and he's like, well, like, what are they, psycho or something? He's like, psychos don't fucking explode when a light hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are. It's so fucking good, man. Oh,
Yeah.
Juliette Lewis, Harvey Keitel. I don't even have to pull this one up to look at it. This is just Quentin Tarantino is in it. I mean, it is so good. Michael Parks, by the way, who plays the cop who gets shot in the head. Um, he died recently, and I am I am probably the biggest Michael Parks fan. He is great in Red State with Kevin Smith. He is great in From Dusk Till Dawn. He is magnificent in Kill Bill. He plays the Mexican pimp at the end there. He's also the cop in Kill Bill, by the way, the sheriff. Um, they're like watching Michael Parks act is to me probably one of the greatest things anybody can do when they're watching a movie. He is a fantastic actor. I'm sad that he
Good.
passed, and that opening scene with him and oh man, now I forgot his name. where they're talking in the Benny's World of Liquor, where they're just talking, having a good time, while Quentin Tarantino and George Clooney in the back with their guns holding that person hostage. So good. Oh man, so good.
It is fantastic. It is fantastic. It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. If we was just talking about vampire films, it'd be in my top 5. If we was just talking about vampire films, so it is that good for me. But yeah, I do love it. I think it's brilliant. And like I say, maybe at some point we could do like top 10 vampire films. We could get it there.
I'm in for that. I'm in for that.
You know, I mean, I would just give a spoiler away. That would be in my top 5 because it is that good. I do agree with everything that you're saying.
I am shocked that this isn't on your list. Like when I was doing this, I was like, "This is him and I will 100% might not be the placement, but him and I will 1,000% have this movie on there." And when you said 30 Days of Nights, I was shocked.
I think Katie got it because a lot of people in my streams have heard me talk about it. My love for like 30 Days a Night. And yeah, I've always been obsessed with that vampire film, but I do agree with you. It's fantastic, and like I say, it'd definitely be in my top 5 vampire films. Put it that way. It is that good for me.
Hell yeah. All right,
So
well,
definitely.
we are now on to number 6. We're making progress here. I will let you go ahead, good sir. I'm going to eat some food, by the way.
Okay, mate. Enjoy. Well, for me, this is based on a Stephen King novel.
Uh oh.
Yep.
Can I? Okay. I want to guess. Can I guess?
Yep.
It's based on a Stephen King novel. Now, I want to like my gut's telling me to say it, but knowing the things that you like, I want to say it's Needful Things. No? Shit. All right.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, my number 6 is. She's played by Kathy Bates.
Oh, okay. Little Misery.
It's Misery.
Okay.
I love this film, Misery. I love the idea of how fans can go too far with fandom, and it has happened in real life. Yeah, you've only got to look at the Friday the 13th franchise, of what's happened there. Kathy Bates is just complete psycho in this. She's brilliant, man. I think, Annie Wicks is definitely one of the most evilest characters in horror history, human. And then you've got James Caan as, of course, Paul, who thinks he's lucky because he's just survived what happened. She's in there, she's looking after him, and then she just turns on him because she don't like the script. and everybody talks about this scene, but it still goes through me today. And believe me, I've watched Misery so many times. What she does to his ankles, it's brutal. It's brutal, man. And he's trying to escape, and you feel so sorry for him. And he's losing the plot because she's so obsessed with this script, and she loses a plot, and also she goes so childlike. And you just feel so sorry for him, man. And she is one of the most evilest human characters I've seen in an horror film. And it does show a dark side to fandom and how some fans can go too far with stuff, because there is fans like that even today that just take it too far. So for me, number 6, I love Misery. I'd hate to think how many times I've watched this film in my lifetime, but Misery's brilliant. And again, it's one of them films that you can't relate with the famous person, but you can relate because we know fans can go too far with it.
Oh yeah. Um, man, I gotta get it out of my head. I think I know the things that you like, and then you throw me a fucking curveball. Like you said, Stephen King, and given what like your passion, I thought for sure it'd be Needful Things. But shit,
No, it's Misery. I love Misery.
that's a
It's a
good
film I
movie.
couldn't live without.
Chat, sorry, I'm eating on stream, but I'm hungry.
Hey, don't worry about it, man. If you're hungry, you're hungry. If I'm hungry, I'll tell you what. I eat on
Yeah,
stream. I'll just eat if I'm hungry.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So the scene is horrid with like the ankle breaking, like that. That is
Oh,
very
right,
cringe
yeah.
inducing, like very cringe inducing. Kathy Bates is great, and there are fans that take it too far. I mean, like you look at John Lennon or the
Oh, yeah.
actress that got shot that played in that One Day at a Time sitcom. Like like fans stalked her and shot her when she opened up her door.
Yeah.
Like
Ridiculous.
it's idiotic, and to have that kind of displayed is very telling because it's very true. And
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, because there are psychos like that, man. Like you see it on Twitter, you see it on Instagram, Facebook. Like you get people that choose like I say, like me and you're obsessed with horror films. I can fully admit that I've got an obsession with horror, but it's a passion. But you've got people that would choose it over like their own moms and the dads and the partners, and it's like you've got to sort of get a grip.
well, yeah, like people sending like Nev Campbell death threats because she doesn't think she's getting what she's worth and for the new Scream. Like that's crazy to me. Crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. It is. Um, People just take it too far, and it's loopy, man. I look at some fans, and I don't even call them fans because first of all, you don't send death threats to actors for doing their jobs,
Yeah.
and number two, I do find it a little cringe when you've got people saying like they choose like actors over like their own family members and partners and stuff. It's just like, yeah,
Cheers, good sir.
yep.
I agree, man. That's a good one. That's a good movie. It's not my favorite Stephen King, but it's definitely a good one.
Yeah,
All right.
I do love it.
My number 6. I debated quite a bit on putting on this list or not. It is my top 3 favorite action movie of all time, certainly. But given its elements and doing a little bit of research, I feel like it fell in the horror category. Even more so now because it does tie in with other movies within the horror realm. Um, but my number 6 is the 1987 film Predator. Um, I
Yeah,
I am a huge fan of Predator. I think minus Aliens, I think the Alien vs Predator series probably makes that series a little better for me just because of the Predator aspect. I It is one of the quintessential action movies for me. But given that I feel like I could easily, it wasn't easy because I debated putting this on here, but that we can add the horror elements to it, such because we had aliens, and things like that. I felt that it was okay. Predator is on that list. Something, get to the chopper. No, this is get to the chopper. This movie is a perfect, almost a perfect action movie. Actually, I think it actually is a perfect action movie, but it's a horror movie. It lands at number 6 and something that I can watch over and over again. And I don't want to like sit here and give everybody the plot of the Predator because I'm pretty sure everybody's seen Predator. But it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Jesse the Body Ventura for those wrestling fans out there. Sonny Landham, R.I.P. is Billy. Bill Duke is Mac. Shane Black as Hawkins, which Shane Black, you guys might know as a writer for a lot of other different movies, such as Last Action Hero, Lethal Weapon, The Monster Squad, Another great movie that's not on my list, but a fantastic movie. Uh, yeah, he's this movie was damn near perfect action movie, but number six for certainly on my horror movies I gotta watch.
I agree. It's perfect. And do you know what's weird, right? I done a list. I'm a top 20, and 21 was actually Predator.
Oh yeah.
21's actually Predator. I wanted so badly to put it in. It's actually at 21.
I debated
So
back and forth, man, but I'm like, hey, look, if we can include Alien, I'm including Predator.
yeah, yeah, I wanted so bad to put it in, but it finished at top 20. It was 21. That's what gave me the idea. I thought we've got to do a top 50, man. There's too many films that have missed out. We've got to do a top 50. Right.
So now
So,
we've reached now the top five of films
well,
for us.
top five um, involves one of my all-time favourite actors that I've already said, which her name is Chloe Grace Moretz.
Not Carrie, is it? You're not doing a Carrie remake, are you?
Yep.
Really? Wow.
Yep. I adore this remake since it come out. I've probably watched it hundreds and hundreds of times. I've always defended this film better than the original. I've always preferred it more than the original. Chloe Grace Moretz has always been one of my favourite actors, and I think she's fantastic as Carrie White. And this is a film. When I say I'm obsessed with a film, this is one of them top films that I'm obsessed with. I only watched it again. I watched it yesterday, and I believe I watched it the day before. Um, I love this film. Every time I watch it, it just gets better for me. And yeah, this is one of my all-time top horror films of all time, which is the Carrie 2013 remake. You've got Chloe Grace who plays Carrie. You got Julianne Moore who plays Margaret. You got Gabrielle Wilde who plays Sue, and then you got Judy who plays Miss Dijardin. I've got a yeah, Miss Dijardin. I also love Judy in this. Um, and I just love the old. To me, they made it more gorier than the original, and I love the original, but for me, I've always preferred this remake over the original, and it's always been one of my all-time favourite horror films. This is a film that I can watch over and over and over again, and it just gets better for me every time I've watched it.
Man, I would not have put that movie in your top five for sure.
I,
Uh,
honest to God, Raven, it was. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the story, and it's kind of weird. When I heard that Carrie was getting remade, I was like, "Oh my God, please now!" Because I think the Carrie remake is brilliant. No, I mean the original's brilliant, right? I was like, "Oh my God, now!" I mean, when I heard Chloe Grace Moretz was doing it, I was like, "Oh, well, great actor," but I was still worried about it. When I watched this remake, I just, it might sound cringe, I fell in love with it. Instantly, I thought, this is better than the original. So I rewatched it again, and every time I've watched it, it's just got better and better for me every time. And I absolutely adore this film. I just think it's brilliant. It's acted. The mom is just brilliant in it, and I just love how she's like gets a pose a bit more early in this one than the original, and how she's just got that evil look on her, and she's just on the bed like just all this and stuff. And yeah, man, I Carrie 2013. I adore it. I absolutely adore this film.
well, chat. First of all, welcome back and welcome in. I see all you guys. So I appreciate you guys stopping in. Spawn and I are doing our top favorite horror, our personal top 20 horror movies. And Spawn just dropped a bombshell on me at number five with the 2013 Carrie remake as his fifth pick here. I would not have had that on my list for him. Uh, I would not have even thought of that for him. So that is, I think his camera froze. By the way, did your camera freeze? Might have actually lost him. Did I lose him? Am I still streaming? All right, we're still streaming. So I might have actually lost him. So he'll be back. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. We are doing our top 20 horror movies. We are at number 5 thus far. When Spawn gets back, I'll have him give you a rundown. But so far, my top 15 thus far have been The Prowler at number 20, Dead End at number 19, Ready or Not at 18, Reanimator at 17, Return of the Living Dead at 16, Night of the Creeps at 15, The Conjuring at 14, Friday the 13th Part 7, aptly at the 13th spot, Phantasm at 12, The Thing at 11, They Live at 10, Shaun of the Dead at 9, Evil Dead 2 at 8, From Dusk Till Dawn at 7, and Predator at number 6. And I'm going to wait before I name my number 5. Oh, there, he left. Okay, so now I have to wait for him to come back. I definitely would not have thought Carrie the remake for him. No, I know Symphonia is down bad right now. I know. Can't confirm Symphonia down bad.
My internet cut off on me, dude.
Oh, okay. Your camera's not on, but I hear you.
My camera not on. Let me refresh. Oh,
Are you there? No. So hi guys. I hope you're all well. Insert British confusion here. Oh, I see a camera. Oh, I see him. I see movement. I don't hear you yet, though. I see you, but I don't hear you. Oh, he's like, hey, go fuck yourself.
right.
Now I hear him again.
Hey, you can hear me now. All right. Um,
The British confusion is now silent confusion.
right. We'll go on to your video discussion. Turn on camera.
Oh, loading. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, British sexiness intensified. I get it. We're here.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep. All is well. Yeah. All right. So while you were gone, while you had your technical difficulties, I went down my top 15 picks. I forgot all of yours. I couldn't remember all of them. I know Friday the 13th was at 20, Strange Land at 19, and then I went fucking brain dead. We're number 5 now, and you had Carrie, the Carrie remake. That's crazy to me.
I love it. I've like I say, when I first watched it, when I first heard about it getting remade, I was like, oh my god, no. But I absolutely fell in love with it. Man. I love it.
All right. Anything you want to add to that before I move on to my 5th one?
No, probably end up watching it tomorrow as well.
Fair enough. My number 5 movie, up until we decided to do this, was actually my number 1.
Ooh. Okay.
After rewatching it, it still holds a place close to my heart, but it drops some spots. There were some other movies that I like better. It's a 1980 horror movie. It's the last film I have from John Carpenter. Um, it stars Tom Atkins. It has Jamie Lee Curtis. It has Adrian Barbeau. And it is a little movie called The Fog, which you might see me wear a hoodie from time to time about. That movie was my number one favorite horror movie for the longest time. And then once we decided that we were going to do this, revisiting it, I'm like, no, there's other movies I like better. I held on to The Fog for nostalgia purposes for way too long. It's the number one spot. Even though it's a great movie, it's about ghost pirates, which I still think Dead by Daylight needs to add. They need to add a ghost pirate. Maybe not Blake, but they need to add something like it. And it's about them coming back after being wrongfully run ashore and murdered by this village. They've come back to life to reclaim their gold and seek out the people that wronged them. And it is a great movie. It's another one of those movies that leaves it up to your imagination. It doesn't show a ton of gore, doesn't show a ton of violence, but Tom Atkins being Tom Atkins and delivering just for what I can call, for lack of a better description, a Tom Atkins performance. Jamie Lee Curtis kind of establishing herself as that scream queen between Terror Train, Halloween, and now The Fog. She's really starting to dive into that scream queen status. And Hal Holbrook as the priest. It is a great movie. It's one of those movies though that, like, for me, for nostalgia purposes, because when I first saw it, I was a little kid. I was watching it with my mom, and that was cool. But like then, like when we watched it, like the fog rolled over fog started rolling over the mountain and down the hill, and just scared the bejesus out of me. So it's kind of one of those things. Like when I watched The Ring, and I actually watched the DVD extra with the actual video, and like as soon as it ended, my best friend called me. Like that's what kind of one of those things where just nostalgia purposes is just uh uh I held on to it to the number one spot probably longer than it needed to be because there's definitely some other movies that I feel are better in here, but it definitely deserves to be at the number five.
Great choice. It is a great film. I will say that much. It's brilliant, man. It is, and I agree. Dead by Daylight needs to add something like that.
I'd be great if they would add a ghost pirate or just like some sort of ghost or pirate. That would be great.
Aquaman.
Have you heard about Dead by Daylight?
Aquaman. What's that?
Have you heard about Dead by Daylight?
No, I'll probably end up playing that later tonight once this ends. But
I mean, I ain't got to say nothing if you don't want to hear it. But have you heard about a big spoiler that's coming?
no. I know some of the video game horror movie coming there that we talked about. That's probably already has some already has some characters in the game. But no, I haven't. Other than that, I haven't heard anything.
Well, there'll be something else big coming that's been a big spoiler come.
Really? Okay. All right. I'll have to go check that out later.
Okay.
I won't ruin it for everybody, but I'll definitely check that out later. All right, man. Number 4, man. We're getting down here. What is your number 4 pick?
Well, my my number 4 is a film directed by Wes Craven, and it kick-started Johnny Depp's career.
Ah, okay.
And Eva Langenkamp plays Nancy. Of course, Robert Englund plays Freddy Krueger. It's the first original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice.
Again, yeah, you got Amanda Wyss as Tina as well. And that's the scene that you'll always hear me saying it a lot. I don't know why, even when I'm not playing Freddy, I'm like, Tina. It's in my head, man. It's there 24/7. I swear to God. So, for me, it's you talk about horror films that changed the game. And Nightmare on Elm Street was one of them. I've always liked the idea of. You imagine if you petrified Freddy Krueger and knowing you gotta get to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's petrifying, and the whole idea that like if you go to sleep you can die. We've all got to go to sleep, so it's a petrifying idea. And the way the storyline of Robert Englund getting burnt and then coming back in people's dreams, and getting their kids now, and it's look. I'm sure most people, if you like horror films, have seen it. If not, please watch Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one as well. It's brilliant. So, but yeah, for me, number 4 is Nightmare 1. I think it's just brilliant, man, and I just love how he's like, watch this, and he's cutting off his fingers one by one. It's just so bizarre, man, and he cuts himself and his maggots coming out. It's just crazy, man. It's such a good film, and yeah, I think it had to be there for me, Nightmare on Elm Street. So if I had to pick one, it'd have to be the original.
No, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. And unfortunately, not on my list again. But like I said, there was only one movie that we talked about thus far that made my list. But that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street. And I think definitely when we do the quintessential horror, like as far as movies that you should watch, that's definitely on the list for sure.
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah.
All right. Well, anything you want to add?
No, I'll just again. You would talk about perfect horror films. Apart from, well, maybe the end. You remember the scene. You might as well got a balloon and pulled it through the door. Apart from that, but overall, come on, it's one of the best horror films out there.
I agree, and it is a good one, and I'll definitely make the list of quintessential ones for me for sure.
Yeah, and just some of the classic lines as well, like "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy." You know what I mean? So it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yep. My number 4 is a movie that you've touched on already. You ranked it much lower than I did, but number 4 for me is Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Ah, okay.
That is such an amazing film. I know we talked about it. Nathan Basil as Leslie Vernon, Angela as the reporter, the two the news camera guys, Scott Wilson, the cameos by Kane Hodder, the references to Michael, Jason, Freddy, and how like this is essentially a documentary, and this is the world where those guys exist, but they're like real guys, like they're people that have to do like extensive training to get their kills. One of the greatest lines in any horror movie is Nathan Basil going, you know how much cardio I have to do, like to make it look like I'm running while walking, like I got to be like a fucking gazelle. Like it's so good.
It is. It's brilliant.
Scott Wilson is amazing in this movie, and I love the fact how it's first half documentary, then second half is movie based. And I don't have anything bad to say about Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon, other than the fact that I am sad it didn't get a sequel. There was a script written for it; it never got production. They turned it into a comic book, and that was actually. The comic book was actually drawn by my friend Nathan Thomas Miller, who go check out his work. He's a fantastic artist, so go check him out. And he got to work with Scott Glosserman, who was the director writer of the first film. And once they realized that they weren't going to be able to get the movie made, they decided to do a comic book. They brought in Nathan Thomas Milner to do the comics and had everybody kind of there to do script reads for him to kind of get the feel for what the scene should be. It was a good time for him. Good time.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and we already talked about it, but that's my number 4. Behind the Mask: Rise of Leslie Vernon.
I'm intrigued as well. I did forget to ask before we move on to number 3. Did you like Carrie 2013 at all, or was it one of them that just you didn't like?
I
Was it like a 50-50 film for you?
I watched it, but I only watched it once, and I don't remember much of it. I
Okay.
watched it when it came out, but it wasn't anything that really like stood out for me. I thought it was just kind of like a remake. It was a good remake, but it
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
it's nothing that really struck a chord with me.
yeah, yeah.
Other than I was like, hey, it's the girl from Kick Ass.
Yeah. I do think she's an awesome actor, man. I do
Yeah,
like her as an
yeah.
actor.
No,
She's
I do
good.
like her. I like her too. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. She's awesome. So I was curious. I did ask you, but
No,
if
no, that's
you,
fair. That's fair. I mean,
yeah,
like I said,
yeah,
it was an updated remake, like the wife says. It was she is a great Carrie. I don't have anything.
yeah,
I don't have any
yeah,
problems with it. I just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. All right, so now we're up to our top three. Top three of
Well,
our favorite horror movies. Maybe not the best, but our favorites. And here we go with Spawn's number 3 pick.
well, it's a film you've already touched on,
Oh.
which is higher than me. Oh, no, higher for me. And it's got it's a crazy film. He cuts his own hand off and it beats him up.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, which is Evil Dead 2. I think this film is just completely and utterly bonkers, man. It's honest to God, right? I remember when I first watched this and I couldn't breathe. I was crying. Like, he cuts his own hand off. His hand's like beating him up. He's getting the plates, banging him off in his own head. The bloody what's it called? The thing on the wall starts laughing at him, and he's laughing back.
The deer head
It's
there.
just
Yeah.
yeah. It's so. Oh, it's crazy, man. I love it. I mean, it was very close. I was thinking, oh, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, like, oh, and I was like, nah, it's Evil Dead 2 for me. So I kept with that, and it's just brilliant, man. Like I say, you see Ash, Bruce Campbell here as full Ash, in my opinion, if that makes sense. Like, he's so bizarre, he's so mental, he's hilarious. Um, it's just, I mean, you've got a good cast, like I say, you got Bruce Campbell as Ash, you got Sarah Barry as Annie, you've got Dan Hicks as Jake, you got Cassie Wesley as Bobby, and the directed by Sam Raimi as well, who's amazing. So and I've got to be honest with you, I think I'm the same as you. When I feel like Evil Dead, it'll either be Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, or the TV series. Respect to the first Evil Dead, I think it's amazing. It is, but I'm like you with that too. But yeah, it's just you don't know what you're watching. If you've never seen it, you don't know what you're watching. It's mental. Like I say, he's beating his hand. he cuts his hand off and he's laughing at his hand, and his hand just gives him the middle finger. It's fucking brilliant. It's crazy, and he's beating himself up, and he's punching himself, and it's just it's it feels like you've took half ounce of drugs and you don't know what's going on. That's what it looks. Yeah, that's what it. This is what this film feels like. I feel sorry for some poor people that might have been pissed, or if somebody's watching this on drugs, I tell you what, they must have entered a new reality, because that film is bonkers, man. But it's just fun, and it's non-stop action, and Bruce Campbell, man, like, he's just the man. He's a fantastic, and I love Bruce Campbell. I think he's brilliant. I know Raven's met him in real life, and he's a nice bloke as well. And you can tell he's a joker just by the way he is in real life. You can tell. So yeah, for me, Evil Dead 3, Evil Dead 2 is ranked pretty high for me, with it being at number 3.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair spot for it too. I mean, yeah, I see nothing wrong with that at all. That is it's a fantastic movie too. And like I said, like Evil Dead 1, I think, did I lose you again? No, there you are. Evil Dead 1, I mean, it's a good movie, but like Evil Dead 2 just does it better. Like it's Evil Dead 1, it's Evil Dead 1, but they added like the things that were wrong with Evil Dead and fixed it and made Evil Dead 2. And that's great. All right. My anything you want to add?
No, just if you ain't watched it, Pete, just watch it, man, and
Oh yeah.
get ready for the most nuttiest film you'll ever see in your life. It's just entertaining as hell, man. It's brilliant. Just watch it.
All right. My number 3 is a horror comedy film that offers a ton of misdirection. It stars 2 people that were actually in Final Destination 3. Chrissy Lang and Jesse Moss both were in Final Destination 3. It has every horror trope ever that you could possibly want in a horror movie, as well as it has gore, it has great kills, great deaths, but it also has great comedy. It also stars Tyler Labane and my man Alan Tudyk, and it is Tucker Dale versus Evil at number 3. It is. I don't. When it comes to horror comedy films, no film does it better than this one. This is my last horror comedy film on the list, and nothing does it better than this one. I think the misdirection, where you kind of think that the 2 rednecks, Tucker and Dale, are the bad guys at the very beginning, even though it doesn't last long. That little misdirection. The homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the very beginning of the film, kind of at the end. The kills are great. I love all of the kills. I think everything is fantastic about this movie. And they announced the second one at Horror Hound like in 2013 or 14. We haven't heard anything yet, but this is the best horror comedy movie that I've ever seen, and it is amazing. College kids.
It is. I agree. That's a great choice.
And that's my last horror comedy one, but it is as you can tell, I have a lot of horror comedy on my list for some reason. I didn't realize I liked it that much, but this is it's a perfect example of gore, storytelling, and comedy, and I love it.
Yeah, I agree. It's brilliant, and this is the beauty of doing stuff like this because it really puts you in a position where it's like you really see like what your top ones are. I think, and it's good that it does that. I think that's why it gave me literally a migraine because it was like, So I had to rewatch films that I've already watched again. I had to do it a few times just to make sure, and come to clear decisions. But anything you want to add on that?
No, my wife just touched on it. Like for me, I hate spoof movies. But to me, this is a perfect complementary film, like of pairing comedy and horror without spoofing it. And this is how you do it. That is a perfect example of how you make a homage film, but keep it good. And that's it. I highly recommend it.
It's really good. And hello, Raven's wife, by the way. Hello. Hope you're okay.
I am good, man. Good time to go. Time for our 1 and 2 punch here.
Right. Well, number 2 for me. I think people knew this was coming. It's a film directed by Wes Craven. I think everybody expected this. What's your favourite scary movie? It's Scream. The original Scream for me is at number 2. Matthew Lillard, you got Skeet Ulrich, the 2 best ghost faces, in my opinion. Now you got Drew Barrymore, and we've spoke about this where everybody thought Cassie was going to be the main girl and the killer off in the first scene. Great shot, great twist, and again we have got set enough Roger Jackson, who does the voice of Ghostface as well. And let's face it, man. Scream really brought horror back after it sort of took a hit, and it just revitalised the horror genre in the 90s. So, and I think it just does everything right, man. I mean, Nev Campbell as Sydney is amazing. You've got David Arquette, you've got Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers, Jamie Kennedy as Randy, who's brilliant. I know you're a big fan of Randy. Raven, he's amazing in this as well. And like I say, man, to me, anybody knows I adore the entire franchise of Scream. But to me, Scream 1's just one of the best horror. Horror comedy. I think it's got definite comedy elements in it, and I think it's just brilliant, man. I love it. Like where he throws, and he's like, "You hit me with a phone, dick," and then he's found, and he's a nutty killer, and he's like, "My mum and dad are gonna be so mad at me," and he's just fucking hilarious, man. I love him, and yeah. Scream 1. People knew it was coming. I love Ghostface. I love the Scream series. So
I knew
yeah,
it was. I
number
knew it
two
was.
for me is Scream.
I knew it was coming, but I had it at number 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see what your number 1 pick is.
Well, there's actually a story with this. There is. It's not about to come to terms with.
Okay. All right.
Number 1.
I had Scream at number 1 for sure. Sinfornia says I'd like to take heat from Spawn, and then Sinfornia thinks our top 2 movies will be Halloween 2 and Halloween 2. So we need to go ahead and kick her from the chat here because no, it is not. Well, anything you want to add to Scream? Because Scream is a good pick. Scream is definitely a really good pick.
No, I just like I say, I think everybody knows who I am with Jason Voorhees. Scream, Jason's just a pinch sort of head of Ghostface for me. That's how much closer I love Ghostface. And the film's perfect to me. It's a great blend of horror, and it has got comedy elements as well. And it's just brilliant. Like I say, it's just full of great lines and full of great good scares with stuff thrown in that's hilarious. Like I say again, you got a serial killer that's nutty, and yet he's petrified about his mom knowing. It's brilliant, man. And just that part, you with the phone, dick. It's fucking brilliant. I love it.
Okay, all right, I'm in. Anything you want to add?
No, that's it. I'm good, man. Just if you ever watch Scream, peeps, go watch it.
Definitely watch it. All right, my number 2 is my wife can probably guess this. Is a horror anthology film that's made in the vein of like Pulp Fiction. It is it stars Dylan Baker, has Brian Cox, has Anna Paquin in it, Leslie Bibb, and there's one more person. Quinn Lord, who actually plays the main, quote unquote, main character, and it is the 2007 film Trick or Treat. That is, to me, almost the perfect horror film. It's honestly, I'll take that back. Honestly, my 1 or 2 could be flipped back and forth depending on the day. Rewatching these movies though, right now I got to give it the edge to my number 1. But Trick or Treat is a fantastic movie. I love Sam. I love how it's essentially the Pulp Fiction, where it's all these stories that are ultimately interconnected. Because Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love how they incorporate that into this movie. I like the kills. I love the horror aspect. I love the storytelling. To me, it is depending on the day, it could be my number 1, but right now it's number 2.
Do you know what, Raven? Brilliant choice. I absolutely love Trick or Treat, right? It was so close to being in my top 20. I love that film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the film. It's brilliant, and you're right. It's just it's so creepy, man. Just how he's walking around with his little lollipop, and he's brilliant. And I love it because the vampires, vampire scene as well. Because I remember watching it, and I thought I was going daft because it was kind of weird because I watched it, and I was watching it. and the Marilyn Manson Sweet Dreams comes on, and before I watched it, I was listening to Sweet Dreams, and when it come on, I thought I left my stereo on upstairs, and I realised, and I thought, oh shit, it's actually on the film. So yeah, it's kind of a weird story, but yeah, I love Trick or Treat, and not just because the Manson song's on there. I think it's brilliant.
It's to me, it's so good, man. Like it's just the anthology tale. I collect everything Trick or Treat. I have the Trick or Treat Studios mask, like the one that's like actually movie quality. I have every NECA figure except for one, but that thing's like $1,000, so I'll probably never have it. Any Sam toy that comes out, I buy. I am a huge Trick or Treat guy. I love Sam. I'm gonna get Sam tattooed on my arm. So,
That's
I love
I'm glad you've got it on there. I'm
yeah,
glad because I nearly had it on mine. It was this close to being on my list. That's how much I like this film. It's brilliant. I agree. I'm glad you've got it on your list.
yeah.
Brilliant film.
My number one. I've collected everything that I think I could collect from that movie, but yeah, it's good. So
Right.
here we are, the moment of truth, y'all. Our number one horror movies.
Yeah, my number one all time. I've had to come to terms with something, man. And remember when we started doing this, and I've said I've had to watch films back to back over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It was because of this. Just to come, I've had to come to terms with something. Not only is it my favourite in this certain franchise, but it is my all-time favourite film. And it's changed slightly. My all-time favourite film is Friday the 13th Part 4.
Okay.
It's the final chapter now. The reason is, in the Friday the 13th franchise, I believe I had the New Blood over it. And I've had to come to terms with it. I've watched them again a lot of times, and I thought, I like the New Blood because of Kane Hodder. It's a good film overall, but I like the New Blood because of Kane Hodder. I love Kane Hodder. And then I thought, why do I like the final chapter? And it's because of everything. It's everything. It's not just one thing, with the New Blood mainly being Kane Hodder, and I do like the film, but if I'm going to be honest with myself, it wasn't Kane Hodder playing Jason in that film, I don't think I'd like it as much as I do, even though it's a good movie. When I watch the final chapter, it's everything. It's Ted White. It's Tom Savini with his amazing work again. You've got Kimberly Beck who is Trish, and as much as I don't like him, Corey Feldman's amazing as Tommy. I don't like him, but I think he's an amazing Tommy. And as a child actor, I've got to give him his due, even though I've never met him, but watching his interviews online and everything and stuff, he just seems like a bit of a dick. But I won't take his acting away from him as a child. I think Tom, when I think final chapter, unfortunately I do think of Corey Feldman as Tommy, and it sort of annoys me, but I've got to be honest with it. So it's something I had to come to terms with, and something that I've battled for years, and it sort of come to me when I kept watching them over and over, and it was just like, I love the New Blood because of Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder, it's still a good film to me, but it's Kane Hodder that made me fall in love with that film. And like I say, but with the final chapter, it's everything. Even I've spoke about it in the past. I've said I'm having the final chapter on the back of my head with the mask, with the shit again through his eye, and I've never got bored of this film, and it's just something I've had to come to terms with, and it really is. It's my number one all-time favourite horror film, and this had also been to want to watch. Like, people get to me, well, would you choose it over Halloween and this and that? Yes, I would. It's personally my all-time favourite horror film, and I've had to come to terms with it. It's one of them. It's where, like, being honest with it, it's like I had to have the New Blood in there, which is why I put it at 20. But like, I've got to be honest, when you take kind of the New Blood, I don't think I'd be as mad on it as I am. I'd still like it, or You know, I think Friday the 13th final chapter has everything I want in a Friday the 13th film. Yeah, and I think, you know, as obsessed as with the New Blood, I think it gives props to how amazing Kane Hodder is in it. So for me, I've got to give it the final chapter. I've watched them back to back and back and back, and I'm just like, there's no getting away from it, man. I think, you know, Friday the 13th is my all-time favourite horror film. The part 4, the final chapter.
That's it. I mean, that's interesting. Like I would not have had that. Like I had Scream at 1, and then when you put New Blood down at 20 there, I didn't think we'd see the return of Jason Voorhees on your list there.
Yeah, yeah. You know, when you have to sort of come to terms with it, you know, like how you said, you had to get off your nostalgia with the fog.
Yeah.
I've just had to come to sort of terms that, like, actually, people can even go back to the Friday the 13th rankings we was doing, where I've said it's kind of weird that I think Friday the 13th final chapter is better, but I like New Blood a bit more, and that's just because of Kane Hodder. I think I've even said that in the in our rankings. I said that, and but I've got to come to terms with it. You know, I'll just say it one more time. With the final chapter, it's everything. The New Blood, you take Kane Hodder out of it, I'll still like it, but it certainly wouldn't be where it is now. If Kane Hodder were in it, remake would probably go above it. So I think it's just, I've got to be honest with myself, and yeah, it's the final chapter, man. I'm obsessed with this film, man.
No, that's good. I mean, that's good, man. I'm glad you kind of came to that because I 100% had Scream at number 1 for you. So I'm glad to hear that Jason made it twice on your list. I like that. I like that.
I don't think it'll surprise people that much. I don't know. I am.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it surprised me. I mean, obviously, you know, we only talk once a week, and then we talk during each other's streams and stuff like that, and via Twitter. But like, you know, that surprised me. I did not have Friday the 13th Part 4 there for you. I did not.
Because in the rankings, I believe I had the final chapter second.
I think so.
In our rankings.
Yeah.
The final Friday the 13th, yeah. And I'll give the New Blood it, but it's just because I've always been a Kane Hodder. But yeah, I'll be honest with myself.
Oh, okay. All right.
Before you get to number 1, was any part of you secretly thinking I'd have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new one, in here?
No, I did not.
No.
I know you liked it a lot.
I like it, but I don't like it that much.
Like top 20 though, like your favorite top 20 of all times. I know. No, I had Friday the 13th Part 7, Scream. For some reason, I thought you'd love Near Dark.
No, I do love it. It's just 30 Days and Nights is my number 1 vampire film.
And I 100% thought From Dusk Till Dawn would have been on your list.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty much it. Everything else has been kind of a surprise, honestly.
I bet you definitely was expecting Carrie, was you?
No, I definitely no. Carrie 2013 was not on the fucking the movie discussion bingo card.
I remember. I remember years back with a certain ex. I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh my god, this!" And a jaw dropped when I said that I prefer the remake over the original Carrie, and she looked at me as if I was on drugs or something.
I mean, I won't lie to you. I was shocked when you said it. I'm still kind of shocked, honestly. I did not expect that movie to be on your list at all. Definitely. All right. Well, I guess it's my turn, isn't it? All right. Let's see if you can guess my number 1. All right. All right. It is a movie that has their characters' names are Stephen, Peter, Roger, and Francine. It speaks highly highly of material possessions in society as a whole. Um, it is probably considered one of the best films in this genre, but I'll keep going here. It stars Galen Ross, Scott Scott Renegade, David MG, and Ken Foree, and it's a little 1978 movie called Dawn of the Dead. Is
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
my favorite horror movie right now. I like what's there not to say about this movie? This movie will be on the list of greatest horror movies to watch of all time. Like for me, this is um as Tom Savini, which again Tom Savini's been in now directly tied to like 3 or 4 of my movies in this series. Um, it is a great commentary on consumerism and material possessions within society. That and it's also a great commentary on another George Romero staple of having a strong black independent or leader of like a strong black independent man kind of leads the group because George kind of broke the mold a little bit when he created Night of the Living Dead and having Ben as the main lead. Like you didn't have a black hero then. He continues that now, and also Galen Ross who is a strong female lead too. Like at one point, she even's like, "Hey, look, I'm not gonna be your guys' fucking den mother. Like I want to be in. I want to have votes. I want to do this, do that." And again, for a late 1970s movies, those two things were huge, and uh, I don't think I don't think there's a better zombie movie than Dawn of the Dead. I think this is not only the best zombie movie, but one of the best. I think Tom Savini's is great. Like his effects are great in this movie. I think David MG, who plays Flyboy, is probably one of the best zombies ever. Like him walking with his foot and everything. Ah man, dude, like props to him. Like he is great, and uh, I've met every single one of those guys on the cast, the main 4, and got my Dawn of the Dead poster signed by them, and they are all wonderful people, especially Scott. Scott's great. Ken I've met numerous times, but uh, that's just the movie for me. Like if you want to watch a zombie movie, that's it. You want to watch a good horror movie that also has great social commentary, that's it.
I do agree. I fully agree. And when I was writing my list, I thought to myself, because when you've been in, when I've been in your stream or we've been talking, you've always gone. I know you've always been big into zombies, so I thought you'd have quite a few zombie films as well. And I definitely agree that it is one of the best ones, and I probably agree with you. It probably is the best one, to be honest. It's got everything.
Yeah, it's everything. Like social commentary, great effects, great and women empowerment, diverse leadership. I mean everything. Uh, George was ahead of his game, ahead of the game, ahead of the time, and I admire that quite a bit.
And kind of weird that Tom Savini, not particularly in the final chapter, but is involved in both films.
Yeah,
that are our number ones.
Yeah, like Tom Savini's in 3 of my films. Both in our number 1. He obviously did the makeup for Dawn, and
Yeah.
and he actually in Dawn of the Dead.
I'm actually meeting Tom Savini in Manchester when I get to Oricon in October.
Oh hell
over
yeah!
Here.
Hell yeah!
That'll be my first time meeting Tom Savini, so I'm excited about that.
Better post pictures, bro.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'm going to take my. I don't know if you've seen it. I've got like a massive. Shouldn't come now surprise. So it's number 1. I've got like a massive final chapter poster on my wall brain, so I'll probably take that out just to get signed by Tom Savini as well.
What was he involved in part 4?
Yeah, he was doing a lot of the makeup for part 4, final chapter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Because I believe he was the one who just spoil it for people that may not have seen the final chapter. So I'll just give it a couple of seconds if people want to think it. But the ending where the machete and the face going down, that was his idea, and he put that together. Tom Savini.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's amazing, he man. Tom Savini.
Oh man, give me 2 seconds, all right? 2 seconds, bring it back.
All right, mate. But yeah, if you have seen Tom Savini. If you have seen Friday the 13th, I went to say final the 13th, Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter. Make sure you can give that a watch, man. It's a brilliant film. It is brilliant, in my opinion. The best Friday the 13th film. I sort of had to come to terms with the. I had to sort of get over the K-Nod part. K-Nod is my favourite Jason. I think it's wrong to give the New Blood that one. It's chapter. So that's another thing that does remain. I was just saying here. K-Nod still remains my number one Jason. He definitely still is. And I'll tell you what, as I know it still always does me in that we don't get K-Nod in Freddy vs. Jason. It still pisses me off today.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. Well, I know it's like fucking like 2:30 there now, right?
Yeah, nearly.
All right, I know. I won't keep you, but what do you want to do next week? The week after, the next 2 weeks, like after next week, the next 2 weeks I'm unavailable because I'll be either in Vegas or just coming back from Vegas. So,
okay, mate, that's no problem.
I might be able to do like that Sunday when I get back, because we get in early. We leave late Friday night in Vegas, but come back early Saturday morning because that's how time zones work.
Okay.
So I might be able to do something that Sunday, but
okay.
So
we can just see how you feel first, because you might feel knackered now or something. So just see how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's up to you. I'm just trying to think what we could do. I know it's up to you. I mean, do you want to have a break from the top 20 first, like the top 20 worst horror films, and go into another franchise first?
I'm down for whatever. The world is our oyster here, and I am an oyster, and I am down to do whatever. We have Hellraiser, we have Child's Play, Hatchet. We can talk about horror movie soundtracks. Probably should do 10 though. Kind of. This took 4 hours, and if we got shit going on, you might be up super late.
It's up to you. Just throwing it off my head. We could maybe do Hatchet.
Okay, yeah, I'm in for that.
No spoilers there. I love Hatchet. I think it's brilliant.
I'm in for that. That's Hatchet. We'll do Hatchet. That's in.
Gonna do Hatchet, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in for that. Yeah. Yep, I am 1,000% in for that then.
People have been talking how they like Jason versus like Victor Crowley. It'd definitely be an awesome battle.
Oh, that'd be great. I mean, it might be hard to film, but it'd be great.
Oh yeah, the hard to film, alright, I know that. No.
All right, man. Well, dude, I know it's like fucking 2:30 there, man. I ain't gonna try to keep you up, man. My bad for being so late today. My dad came into town. And...
Hey, dude, no, don't worry about it, man. Honestly, I'm fine, man. As soon as this is over, I'm gonna grab a drink and yeah.
All right. Well then let's plan on Hatchet. This one, I'd like to say this video up and be soon, but there's gonna be a lot of editing.
Oh well, no.
So this is almost a 4-hour video, so we're gonna have to do some weeding out there. But Yeah.
It's been awesome, man. There's definitely been some films I don't expect you to have on there, and I think the biggest surprise for you is probably the Carrie remake
Oh,
being at
100%.
number 5.
100%.
You,
That is.
you are ready for that, and I think it's probably because I spoke about this years back. This is when I was streaming on Mixer, and I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was like talking about Carrie a lot during the one stream. But because people probably heard me talk about it in UA, like my family members, my mates would know how highly I rate this, but because I've never spoke about it to you, that's probably why it's come as a lot of a shock for you.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Was
Yeah.
was there anything on my list that surprised you as much as say Carrie or
Yeah, it was the I forgot what it's called now. The film from the UK. But what did I expect to have that there?
Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead.
Oh
Even
yeah.
though I think it's amazing and brilliant, I just was not expecting that.
Yeah.
As good as Trick or Treat is, I did not expect you to have it at least that high, even though I think it is amazing and it was that close to being on my list. You had two that was nearly close for me, which was Predator and Trick or Treat. It was so hard. I'll tell you a film that nearly made it for me. Wolf Creek 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Them Wolf Creeks are amazing, man.
Wait,
You
is
seen
that
the TV series?
is Wolf? No, I haven't. Is Wolf Creek 2 the
Oh,
one
what?
with the cops? The cops in the very beginning, or is that 3?
Number two's Wolf Creek 2. That's the cops.
That's the one with the
He
cops. Yeah. Oh yeah.
blows his brains out, man.
Yeah.
Do you know it's based? Some of it was based on a true story.
Yeah. Kind of heard about that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that opening scene gets me, man, because especially the he throws the lighter in and
Yeah.
nope.
It, brutal, eight man.
Oh
Proper
yeah.
brutal.
Oh yeah. That
Yeah,
opening scene is brutal.
Wolf Creek was nearly in my top 20. That's how much I like that series as well.
And John Jarrett's such a nice dude. He's so nice.
He is. He
Yeah.
is. Do you know they're making a new Wolf Creek film?
Oh, are they really?
Honestly, Raven, you need the series is as good as the films,
I'll check it out. Yeah.
and it's proper brutal. I'm telling you.
I will have to check it out because yeah, I'm in for that.
It's brutal, man.
Do you know
How
that?
did you do that in this? Go on, sorry, mate.
Do you know that the series where I talked about Final Destination? I guess HBO Max has Final Destination 6. I guess they're going to be releasing that on HBO Max.
Oh, okay, no, I don't know that. I knew they was working on a new one.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see that.
Yep. It's gonna be a good one.
Let's talk of Blumhouse taking over Friday the 13th, either.
I mean,
Is that rumours?
like Blumhouse wants to buy the rights to Friday, the Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street would be a little easier, still complicated. Friday the 13th obviously is complicated right now until Victor and Sean decide to fucking quit being douchebags and
I know.
work together.
Sort it out.
We could do Blade. It's only 3 movies. I mean, at least Hatchet. We have Hatchet 1, 2, 3, and then Victor Crowley.
4.
That's 4. Yeah.
Yes, 4.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do Blade too. I mean, I guess we can do like a dual feature one day. Like we can do like Blade and
Yeah, I'm up for that.
whatever. Underworld, yeah, Underworld.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. Underworld.
Yeah. Kate Beckinsale jumping off the building and then doing that little bounce when she lands does something to me.
Yeah. It is brilliant. Yeah, Underworld. Yeah, definitely up for Underworld.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do Hatchet next week. Kind of be shorter video because this one's gonna be 4 hours. Hopefully I can cut it down to maybe 3. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, y'all. Spawn, if you want to hang on for a second, but this was our top 20 favorite horror movies. This was fun, a little long, mostly because it got late for both of us. Unfortunately, I had some family come in. Not unfortunately, it was nice. It was very nice to see them. But yeah, and then obviously partaked in a little too much alcohol. But
Live once, dude.
yeah, right. Yeah, right. 100%. But this has been super fun. You had a bunch of movies on your list that I wasn't expecting, and uh, I'd be interested to figure out like what we do with like. I don't want to say worse, but I don't want to say overrated either. Like I don't know how to word that for like we decide to do our maybe just our least favorite horror movies. I don't know. I guess we got to be a little toxic though. Like I guess overrated or the worst horror movies. I don't know.
If we're doing overrated, there'll be a certain franchise of people that'll find out where I live and dismember me. I'm telling you. there's, there's a movie that I adore and I love, but some people put it as the greatest horror film ever made, and I can't disagree more.
Oh man, there's so many movies that I left off this list. Like just like off the top of my head, Hellraiser, The Last House on the Left. Um.
Halloween.
Halloween. Yeah. Um. Shit, man, I had him. Now I can't think. Um.
Your Day of the Exorcist.
No,
But I know you're not a massive fan
no,
of that.
didn't have The Exorcist on there.
I'll tell you one film that I thought would come on for me, and I was surprised that it did, The Omen.
Oh yeah, The Omen's good. The Omen's good.
I like The Omen. I'm surprised that was on for me.
I hate the remake of
Because
The Omen because it's a shot-for-shot remake. I hate it.
Yeah, it is a shot-to-shot. Yeah, yeah. Predator just missed out for me. So many good films that I missed.
Like a movie that I hated when I first saw it in a movie theater, threw a fucking temper tantrum because I was an 18 or 19-year-old prick. But now I have a lot of love for is the Blair Witch.
That's I've got to be. That's one that's.
Yeah.
I can't get behind. I'll tell you why. I think it might have been one of them where you had to grow up where you felt like, because a lot of people thought it was real, don't they?
Yeah, like so. I feel like I think I'm like what 10 years older than you. I'm 43.
I'm 33.
So the Blair Witch came about in the age where I'm 18 or 19, and I followed. That was the very first like viral marketing on the internet. The internet was still kind of young, and dude, I full sent it, man. Like I was hooked. I'm like, these people are missing. I can't find anything about them. I was all aboard. I was all aboard it, doing everything. I'm like, this is crazy. Like I'm about to go watch these people die. Like, but although I didn't, when I finally went and saw the movie, like I knew they were actors because I saw Heather Donahue in a Steak and Shake commercial, and then I kind of put two and two together and realized that she's not actually missing, but that she was just an actor. But like it was just one of those. I hated it when I first saw it. Hated it, dude. I left the movie theater, and there like it was a huge cinematic experience for everybody. So there was lines of people waiting to get in. I'm throwing shit, throwing popcorns, giving away the movie, like telling everybody the ending. Fuck this movie, go save your money, like get your money back. Fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, fuck your mom, everything, dude. I was fucking pissed, bro. I was fucking mad. But like now it's been 20, 23, 24 years. I'm like, hey, I kind of like this now. It's all right. It's good. It almost made the list.
I'll tell you what's a big one as well that was off for me, and I do like it a lot, but I'm surprised it made Pet Sematary.
Ooh, the first one, yes. The remake, the wife actually left the theater.
I actually didn't mind the remake. I don't think it beats the original, but I didn't mind it. I think again, don't know. I've only watched it once, and I thought it was okay. There's sometimes I'll watch a film once, I think it's okay, then I'll watch it a second time, and I'm like, yeah. Or sometimes I'll make I love it even more. So what happened with Carrie, the 2013? I watched it once, and I was like, oh my god, I loved it, but I thought I need to watch it again, and I've watched it about 50 million times, and I just love it.
There, you could have been like, hey, you put here's $1 million if you can guess my top 20. You don't have to put them in order, but just guess my top 20. Carrie 2013 would have never, ever, ever made that list. Not in 1,000 attempts at doing that would Carrie 2013 been on that list.
I love it. I mean, as soon as was doing a top 20 off, in my head I knew Carrie was going to be there. I just didn't know where, and yeah, it ended up being at number 5, which, to be honest, is true, because I don't know what it is, man. It has some shine about it that I absolutely adore and love. I don't know what it is. I've always been mad on that film. I've watched it so many times, man. I love it. And I think Chloe's just a great actor, man. I think she's amazing.
She is good. She is really good.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's kind of weird. It's like I just like where it's covered in blood and her eyes are going, and people are meant to be sick about it, and I'm just like, damn, she looks good.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. That's fair. I mean,
I best not say that, because I might see Symphonia covering herself in blood.
No,
with a white dress on.
That's fair. That is fair. That's fair.
But yeah, it has shocked a lot of people that prefer it over the original. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love the original. I think the original Carrie's brilliant. It's just, for me, I don't know, I think the remake's just got a little bit more shine for me.
Symphonia says buys 10 gallons of blood. End quotes.
Yeah.
It's gotta be pig's blood, though. Gotta be pig's blood.
Yeah, it's got to be pig's blood. Skeet agrees with pig's blood as well.
Yep. Oh, all right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream now. Next week, tune in. We're gonna do Hatchet. I'll get this.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'll get this video up at some point. Probably won't be this week, but I'll work on it.
Yeah, it's alright, mate. I know it's a long ass video, man.
Yeah, I'm going to download.
Don't worry about it.
Because OBS kept crashing, so I'm about to download it, then edit out the parts that crashed, then edit out all the other nonsense. But yeah, we'll get that up. I don't know if I'm going to be back on live tonight or not. I'm going to say no, probably not. I think I'm going to go kick it in bed with the wife and the dogs. So, but if I do jump back online, it might be a little short stream when everybody goes to sleep. We'll see. But I doubt it. I think I'm going to watch TV. Spawn, man, I know it's like fucking 2:30 there, man. Hopefully you don't have to get up early to work or anything.
Nah, I gotta be up early tomorrow, mate. I'm alright.
Alright, what time are you streaming tomorrow, your time?
I think I've got to update my schedule, man. I think 7 p.m. tomorrow. It could be earlier. I'm not sure yet, but definitely Tuesday and Wednesday as usual. The 7-hour streams will be Tuesday and Wednesday, but tomorrow I can do 4. I will. If not, it'll be 7 p.m.
Alright, that's 2 p.m. our time, and if you don't know, Spawn has made me a mod on his channel, so now I'm gonna fuck Streamlabs up. Fuck that thing.
I know.
I can also cuss now on his channel too, because Streamlabs can't do shit.
No, you can cuss now, guy.
But yeah, definitely appreciate that, and got the notifications turned on, so I'll turn your Showgirls. Yes, Showgirls is the scariest movie of all time. Yes, you are correct. I'll be in your channel. Hit me up when you If you're on at 7, it's 2 p.m. my time. If it's 11, it's right when I get to work, and I probably got shit I gotta do. But I'll throw you up and uh, do the mod things per usual and hang out. So
I appreciate you. And like I say, man, only do it when you can. I'll get you busy, mate. You have a lot going on, man. I'll get it.
man, I got 4 monitors, man. I got work, then usually shit I'm doing personally, and then you are right up here. So you're you're always on. It's just if I'm in the chat or not, and I feel bad because like there's a couple of times you start asking me a question and like I like work calls. I'm like, fuck, I gotta answer this, and then like I don't answer that. I completely forget about it. I'm like, fuck, what did he ask me? I want to try to remember what he asked me, and I fucking can't remember.
It's all right, dude. I get it, man. I know you're busy. I appreciate you coming even when you're working, dude. I appreciate it, man.
Oh hell yeah, man! And wife shouted you out there. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Also shouting out
Appreciate
Stylish
that.
Geek. Thank you, Katie. I know you're sleeping by now for sure, but uh, that Sinfonia, if you ever start streaming, we'd shout you out. But you just kind of hang out and chat and make TikToks, which are great, by the way. I like them. Uh,
Um, um,
uh, but Sinfonia, definitely appreciate you coming out, hanging out. Ego, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you. No, Nick, Latangelo, everybody else. Yeah, that's it. I don't think I'm gonna be back on tonight. I would definitely be on tomorrow though for a banger for some Dead by Daylight with the boys. But until then, cool with the Raven, Nevermore, Spawn. Uh, Make sure you tune in to him on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Central Time. All right, see you guys.